There we have it. The group stage is completed. 33 matches down, some big surprises, plenty of drama, and a little bit of controversy sprinkled on top. Talking of controversial, we've got a couple of big names on the panel to controversially open the show today as we head into the quarterfinals. Moses and Fifth Lauren are alongside. I guess maybe not that controversial.
We'll see about that, Paul.
All right, okay.
We can get there if you'd like.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Bit of spice to
Robin,
spice it up today.
That one's all you.
Oh.
You've been waiting all through the group stage. You've been preparing the whole group stages.
No, I did say
to drop that nice little F-bomb.
Yeah, but Anders was the first one to do that, so I'm safe.
Yeah, Anders
I'm not the
did
first one to have cursed.
Yeah.
I still haven't cursed.
Absolutely. So let's reflect back on the groups before we look forward to the quarterfinals. I guess the pun intended big story that came out was the story of Big going through 3-0 alongside Gambit as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. And they've impressed everyone. They've kind of overshot everyone's expectations. A lot of questions coming into this event, and then obviously the controversy you spoke of in the intro is the whole jump glitch. Well, they just proved that they can beat the best team in the world without using it. After all the agreements came out, they beat them on Inferno. And that's the next question that comes up for this big team is they played Inferno. That's how they got through the group stage. Yeah. So how deep is their map pool going to go? But obviously a very, very cool playing style this team has brought out. I think they're one of the most exciting teams to watch at the moment.
I mean, they even mentioned, right, that Inferno's not even their best map. They just started practicing it like a week ago, right?
Who knows? I mean, that's a good thing. They have 6 other maps they might be able to play. We just don't know yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, say with Gambit, right? I don't know if anyone was expecting Gambit to necessarily go 3-0 in the groups and reach a playoff. So I think they also surprised quite a lot of people.
Could have seen them getting out. They've always been, they've been pretty good in the BO1s and Legends at the last major as well. It's the series play where they've kind of struggled through things. So now it's also for them the next step. Can they take it?
I guess the least surprising was probably SK and Astralis coming through. The two previous champions of the last 3 majors. We expected them to come through. Probably didn't expect them to have to face up against each other though.
Face up. See what you did there? They are not through to the playoffs. You're all about the puns today, Paul.
I'm very punny today.
He's bringing the fire.
Yeah, bringing the fire.
Bringing the fire.
Start as you mean to go on.
No, I mean, if you look at the playoff bracket, right, for me, when I first saw it, I was a little bit shocked, honestly.
A little bit depressed.
Right, before we get to the bracket, though, let's take a look at the standings and show you exactly how we did get to those playoffs via the group stages. It was very interesting. Here's the full results as we went through. Top left-hand side, Gambit and Big coming through with 3-0. 3 1s, a couple of those. SK Gaming coming through fairly safely, despite 1 defeat against Big. Then North and Astralis. And then finally, our last 3 teams taking it all the way to the very end. Virtus Pro winning a game to get into the arena alongside Immortals and Fnatic. Immortals, of course, one of the other 2 qualifying teams that have made it through.
Yeah, and a big leap for them considering they struggled so long just to get to the major, and now in their first major that they finally qualified for, they made it to the playoffs, legend status now. So I mean, it's very cool to see them finally get that stage after so much hard work, after so much heartbreak. And then I think that everyone in the Counter-Strike community lets out a collective sigh of relief when Virtus Pro makes it. Even the North American fans like myself against Cloud9, I was like, who do we actually root for in this game? Like, you want VP in front of the crowd, they've made it, they're here, and the crowd of the Polish crowd with Virtus Pro playing has always been legendary. There's always been stories. And I personally have not ever seen it. All the arenas that we've done in Katowice over the past couple of years, they haven't been in great form. They haven't actually made it one time earlier this year. So this is going to be excellent.
Yeah, last time they were champions, of course.
Robin's seen it firsthand.
It was against this man sitting next to me. And I mean, the crowd against you like that, Robin. Because they were respectful, though, weren't they? Because they were cheering NIP and what have you. And I remember the end of the game, they actually gave you a really big cheer, which was really cool.
No, but that's
a wonderful crowd in Poland.
Definitely. I mean, they're all about the love for Counter-Strike. And even if, like you're saying, we were playing against VP at the time, massive fan base, but they still took the time to clap for us as well.
To give you a salute.
Are they an extra half a man or a full 6th man for the team, do you think, with the crowd power?
I mean, for VP's sake, at least, I think that this will definitely help them, considering how much they've been struggling. But making out of groups is the first step, right? That's something that Taz would say. He's not happy until they win. So I do hope that we're going to see a much improved VP here in the playoffs, and hopefully they can go far.
Okay, why don't we take a look at the schedule for today. Day 1 in the Toron Arena. Of course, we've got matches galore for you. All best of 3 from now on. Here's the bracket first. Gambit versus Fnatic. Then we have that monster match between the previous 3 major champions of SK versus Astralis. And we'll finish off the day with Big versus Immortals. Don't forget as well, North play Virtus Pro. It's a bit of a grudge match, I guess, between those two.
From the E-League major as well.
Yeah, from the E-League major, that's right. Yeah, so here's the schedule for today. Around about 1 o'clock, we're about around 30 minutes away from that right now, is Gambit versus Fnatic, and we'll get into that fairly shortly. SK will then follow against Astralis, and we'll finish with Big versus Immortal. Is it guaranteed, gents, a qualifying team in the semi-finals?
Oh, that's nice.
Big versus Immortals.
That's quite, good for them. That's
welcome to the show, Jason.
Yeah, I know, right? Listen, let's get it all out in the air. The match that everyone's looking at today is SK Astralis. That basically could be a grand final, and if you look at that half of the bracket, whoever's coming out of that is going to be favored to make it to the grand final. So that's just huge, and they've produced some of the best matches that we have. So in a way, we're lucky to get it this early, but I mean, overall, you want to see that later on, right? You want to see that with the stakes a little bit higher. You want to see that with the trophy on the line. That's the matchup that everyone wanted coming into this major, is an SK Astralis or FaZe, if they had been here, to be in that grand final playing for the trophy. But either way, it's going to be an excellent game this afternoon.
I want to pick up two teams that didn't make it through to the quarters, which we might have expected to. FaZe certainly are one of those. G2 are the other ones.
I mean, you can mention quite a few, right? Even Navi, Cloud9. I think we all had all four of these teams making it through to the playoffs. They even had Mouse Sports partially based on consistency and how they looked. But definitely, I mean, the talking point is definitely going to be FaZe, right? 0-3, they really win a single game. They didn't even play top 10 teams, essentially, right? They lost to Big, they lost to Mouse Sports, and lost to Flipside. These are not even teams that should be even remotely looking into losing against. Just a poor tournament.
What do you put that down to?
I put it down to, I mean, obviously I don't want to speculate on any internal issues, but there's got to be something where there's something going on internally that we don't know about. Also, I think part of it is just a situation where they are one of the teams that we know base things a little bit more on skill than they do on tactics. Like they let players have a lot of freedom, and there is a lot of variance in that kind of a play style. If everyone's coming in, I mean, we saw basically, I mean, not to throw them under the bus, but Kerrigan and Keo had very poor individual tournaments. Yeah. And if you have 2 of your 5 players having that level of a poor tournament, then it's going to be difficult to play that individual style where you're letting, especially considering Keo was one of their best players in some of these runs they've had in these deep into tournaments. So they were just missing some individual level. Whether you can chalk that up to maybe not great practice coming into it, and even if it was a lot of practice, just not efficient practice. But at the moment, it's just all speculation, right? We'll just have to wait to hear what they come out with.
Yeah, okay. One of the positives of the group stages was Fnatic, though, Robin. What a run from your compatriots from Sweden. When you look back at the teams they played, you think, how the hell did they get out of the groups?
Yeah, I mean, JW even said that, right? It feels like every tournament we've attended with a new lineup, we just end up playing against the best teams. And they themselves feel like we've been playing great. It's just, what can you do, you know? Like, these are matches that you tend to see in semifinals and possibly even finals, but you end up playing them in groups, and especially now with the Swiss system, right? We saw this tournament as well. This is, I mean, it's just good on Fnatic, right? I feel like they've been playing really, really good Counter-Strike throughout the group stages, and especially if you look at the teams that they were playing, it's very surprising.
Yeah, it's actually unreal. G2, Navi, Astralis, Virtus.pro, and then Flipside was their opening game that they won. But, I mean, those 4 teams, that's running the gauntlet through the Swiss system. And the cool thing about it as well, we saw them play Nuke against Astralis, which is
16-14.
Yeah, that was the second time this lineup has played Nuke together on LAN in a tournament environment. They played, 4 or 5 different maps as well throughout their run. They played Mirage twice, and everything else was a different map each time. So showing that they put in some work, and all the conversation that they've had, and we talked to them after one of their wins, was that boot camp leading into it. They've always been famous for never boot camping, and this was the first time JW even said it coming in. He's like, yeah, we just felt like we needed it, and like we had to try everything. Something wasn't clicking, and so he said we just have to try it. And obviously it's producing results for him here.
Absolutely. Going to get more from both of you in just a moment, but no opening of a match, and a tournament would be complete without opening it officially. So let's do that right now.
For many, to see is to believe. For some, to have faith is to see what others don't. The discipline of the champion, the potential of the underdog, the courage of the dark horse. These are the building blocks of legends. Over the next 3 days, games will turn into battles on the stage of the Toron Arena. Not everybody will see them like that, but then again, they don't have to. The future does not need an invitation. It is there for those who chose to acknowledge it, those who chose to believe. Welcome to the PGL Major Krakow 2017. Coming up next, Gambit Esports versus Fnatic.
Rise up and face the demon. Rise up and face your fear. Rise up and face the devil. Rise up.
Next matchup, casted by James and DDK.
Rise up and face your fear.
Okay, right, well, God, blimey, there we go. We're officially open and up and running for the quarterfinals then. Caught me a little bit by surprise there. James and DDK, of course, we'll get them in the commentary booth very shortly, but we've still got plenty to discuss for our opening matchup. We're back with Moses and Fifth Laren at the panel. It's Gambit versus Fnatic.
Can we just talk about that video a little bit real quick?
Can we? Shall we? I wasn't sure whether we should or not.
Which one? The James and Dan video?
Yeah, definitely.
It was good.
It's kind of cool.
It was. I
like that.
I like that. That's always
Yeah, I
super
like
cool.
that.
Dan and
So-
his trademark shorts.
Looking classy as always.
Yep.
You never see the bottom half of casters anymore, though.
No,
so
you don't.
never quite know what they've got on, or indeed if they have anything
They've got
on.
it easy, don't they, Paul?
They
I mean,
have.
people don't know what we have on. And
Let's not go there. Let's
Exactly.
get back to the match. Gambit versus Fnatic, Moses.
Yeah, I mean, with Gambit, I would love. I always look at this team and think it's so exciting having Zeus in this team as an in-game leader and Hobbit as like this guy who's shown so much potential and shown so much growth. But the ridiculous thing is that Adren has been just unbelievable at this event. In their 3 wins, he's got 80 kills across the 3 matches. That's like 26 or 27 per match average, and it's something insane that we're seeing out of this guy. Level of consistency, like we've known he's had it in him, but it took for him a while. It feels in CS:GO for him to get to this point, but now that he's here, he just hasn't let go of it, and he's just been a dominant force for
Yeah,
Gambit.
interestingly as well, Robin, #1 rated player right now on HLTV's rating.
yeah, and you would never guess
ahead
that,
of
right?
Cold Zero, which when you look at what he's done so far, and you go, how is that possible?
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
No, he's been playing lights out, definitely. I mean, massive part of why Gambit is here. Went 3-0 and into the playoffs versus
All right,
Fnatic.
we're going to take a look at the Gambit lineup right now, and it includes this monster right now who's having an absolute tournament of his lifetime, which is Adren. We've also got the legendary Zeus in here as well, but I want to focus a little bit on Hobbit because he's also been really playing well and crucial moments throughout all of the matches.
I mean, when they first brought him in, right, he was just on loan from, I can't remember the team, it was
Tengri.
Yeah,
Tengri.
and then, just such a great player, so they just ended up like that. We want to keep him, and I think that's definitely paid off, and especially with the with Zeus, for example, right? I think that he does a really good job in making sure that Hobby gets a lot of space to do what he does best.
Hobbit was the player with the biggest jump when they finally made it onto the international conversation by winning DreamHack winner last year, right at the end of last year, against tier 2 opposition, fair play, but he was the one that kind of put them in the map, put them back into that conversation, and they just kept improving. But if you look at this region in general, I mean, you look at a guy like Electronic, and now Hobbit's here as well. They just have so many young talent, and he's got so much skill. And then you add him with Zeus, an in-game leader who can teach him how to play, give him some tips, just something that he can calm a new player down when he's in these kind of intense situations. And it's a recipe for success, and it's showing with Gambit.
We're going to talk about Fnatic in just a moment as well, but why don't we focus a little bit more on a man who is at the top of the HLTV ratings right now. He's having the tournament of his life. This is Adren.
Sir Scoots here, and this time I'm joined with Gambit Esports' one and only Adrian. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
So first off, obviously congratulations. You get to play in the big room. Very nicely done. 3-0, pretty easy run, although some close games, yeah?
Yeah, I'm so excited to play on this arena. I'm so happy that we finished 3-0. It makes gain more confidence about that. So I feel good now.
So let's talk a little about you. Not a new player to Counter-Strike. You started 2003, 2004, played a bunch of 1.6. Then you're one of the guys that actually did transfer into Source for a little while. Second place WCG, I don't remember the year, which again, not many people have done all three successfully. And now here you are, a couple different teams in Global Offensive, but now you've been with Gambit for quite a while. First thing I want to ask is, your team has a different vibe and a different dynamic, it seems, than most teams here. Whether it's social media at home or the way you do some of your, your content.
Yeah.
Seems like you guys are having a really fun time as you do this stuff. You know, you got Sex God, you got Zeus that's joined the party. What is bringing that kind of different atmosphere?
I don't know. Actually, it's too hard to make this content about. About all these videos. You have to spend all your time and your power to, and you don't practice. You have to make 2 days off. So somehow it maybe react to our game, but it's still fun. We're just having fun. We're just making some sort of team building for us. So,
okay, so if you have to do it, you might as well have fun doing it, right? Versus the standard stuff that everybody does. Now, this is your 6th major and your 3rd legend, I think. So obviously you've got a nice little pedigree. But I kind of want to talk about Zeus a little bit, because obviously he has a huge major run in his own right under Navi's belt. He gets cut in August, seems to get this super motivation refire, joins you guys. Did he bring any of this like extra bravado to you? Obviously you were already motivated, but did he come with like, we need like to destroy everybody now, I'm very upset with this situation?
Yeah, definitely. He brings us this motivation that he got from kick from Navi. He brings us this vibration, how do you say it? He definitely brings us a lot for us.
Okay, so let's talk about your run so far. You played Virtus Pro, played Mouse Sports, and you played G2. That got you your 3-0. Anything of those 3 matches kind of jump out at you? I mean, it's easy when you win to go, we did great, everything worked, but anything even out of a win that you feel that like you got lucky with or you need to improve on?
To be honest, the first match against Mouse Sports was kind of shaky because we didn't know how we're going to perform in that tournament. But after this win, we got something special. We just got some major magic or something, I don't know. And we just got this. I don't know how to call it, but we got this, and then we just won after that G2, and we gained more confidence, and after that we've been ready to play against Virtus Pro.
Now let's talk about what you've got ahead of you, right? And I know you don't want to give a lot of predictions about your play and what's going to happen, but we're going to talk about everybody around you, right? So in your bracket, you have to start off with Fnatic, obviously. So you're not going to tell me how that's going to go.
I'm not going to spoil it.
But then in that same bracket, SK Astralis. So that in its own right, obviously, can be a final any day of the week. So you want to give me a prediction of who of those 2 you think you might play?
Maybe I can just think about this match. It's going to be a hard match for both teams. I think SK got more experience now. They won 3 tournaments in a row. They got this confidence about winning the tournament. Astralis got the big pause after the tournaments, and maybe it will make some problems for them.
Yeah, because it seems they've had a slow start here to warm up.
But no one knows what's going to be on the playoffs, so I bet that Australia is going to win this. I don't know why.
All right.
But,
well, until they meet you in the finals, right? No? You don't want to even say that?
No.
Okay. Now, the other side of the bracket, I want some predictions. You got Big taking on Immortal, and then you've got North taking on VP.
Yeah, Big, if they're not going to be so nervous playing on the stage and then the quarterfinals, on the playoffs, they're going to definitely win the Immortals. If they get some nerves, so they're going to lose.
And then what about North VP?
North
Having to play VP in here.
I think Virtus Pro got this. They're going to win this because home crowd is more energy. They're going to play a different game, not what was in the group stage. So that's going to be tough for North and easy for Virtus Pro.
And of course, the last major and the only major that VP won was the Poland one, right? So the very first one. So it's going to be tough for all 8 of you in there. I mean, this is not an easy road for anybody. So any final thoughts? Anything you want to talk to your fans about, or even your haters or anything?
Yeah, I want to thank everyone who support us, who believed in us, who believes in that we can go out of these groups and play playoffs. I want to thank everyone who will support us in the future. And yeah, thank you guys. We feel your support.
All right, thank you very much. That'll do it for me. Good luck to you, buddy.
the #1 rated player so far here at the Major from the group stages, heading into his 7th knockout of the Major Series. Of course, we're in our 11th here right now, and the other man alongside him, the team captain, is heading into his 11th Major and is 9th in a row of reaching the top 8, and Na'Vi aren't. So I guess he's kind of got his revenge in some sort of ways. Whether he wanted it or not, it's happened.
I mean, definitely, right? I mean, when he ended up getting kicked from Na'Vi, my main concern first for Na'Vi is that they don't have any game leader anymore, and this is one of the guys that's just been in the scene for so long, accomplished so much within even 1.6 and CSGO. And then just for him to get the chance to then join Gambit, and I think that actually the players that they have in Gambit actually fits what kind of like his playstyle a little bit, and you get that mixture of the slow pace that Zeus has and the really fast and not necessarily really strat heavy that they had coming into before Zeus's time. So I feel like they got a really good mix now of hey, we have something to fall back on, which is Zeus' little slow strats, but we also have that really fast pace with Adren and Hobbit leading the way.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic having him in there. I mean, he's a double finalist at Majors, so he's got that kind of experience. He's been all 11 Majors as well. Massive experience taking him into this quarterfinal. So presumably he'll find the right words for this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you can just see the way that Na'Vi has crumbled since he left, and the way that Gambit has kind of stepped up since he joined. You can just see like that's such an impressive thing to do as an in-game leader. And it just shows you how important it is to have one of those guys in your team. And when teams are missing it, it's very, very apparent. But he's obviously got this team on the right track. It helps when you have guys like Adren, not just like the kills he's getting, but like the fact that Adren is so experienced. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes in his game. Very fundamentally sound. So when you have guys like that to add in, you have a lot of tools to work with, and that's got to be lovely for him.
Yeah, he's definitely enjoying life. The other boys that are enjoying life right now are Fnatic, our other quarterfinalists. They match up quite well against this team. We've already talked at the top of the show, Robin, about how difficult their run through the group stage was. And I remember JW in an interview, I think it was day 2 or 3, he said, if we can get to the playoffs, we're a better team. Why do you think that is? It's
just the best of 3 mentality, right? I feel like because Fnatic's map pool is actually quite deep, and we even saw that just the fact that they ended up playing Nuke versus Astralis, a map that for me I thought was going to be super one-sided, but just.
But you also wanted them to play Nuke.
I did. I feel like they have really good players for a map like Nuke. You have a lot of individual plays, really quick rotations. It really fits their playstyle essentially. So that's why I was always so surprised that they never really played it. But then obviously they picked out. They lost still, but
it was a good loss.
A good loss, as good as you can have.
Yeah,
as a loss.
The best loss you can get.
Yeah.
I think the cool thing with this team is, I think part of the reason why JW said, if we make it out of groups, we make it into the playoffs, you'll see a better Fnatic than you've ever seen. I mean, obviously a little bit of that is a touch of bravado in there, just to kind of pump himself up and everything. But I think since this lineup has gotten back together and not getting out of groups, I think that's like a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on your shoulders. A team that was once like the most unbeatable lineup that we've ever seen in CSGO. Some of the runs that they had, 7 tournament wins in a row at one point. Once you get bogged down by not getting out of groups, that's really, really tough to get over after you've had all that success. So the fact that they've finally done it, I think this is where a lot of that pressure goes away. You see the Flusha quote he gives at interview where it's like, our goal is to do something stupid, but do it with confidence, do something stupid with confidence. And like, if those plays are going to come out, if Flush is going to be back winning clutches the way he was, JW's had a phenomenal tournament so far. You're starting to see some of these tools that made them so dangerous come back to life. And then all of a sudden, this does become a brand new team.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other key parts of this team, of course, is a man who has been at the top for many years, but has not had the best of 2017 so far. Looking to have a big major is Olof Meister, and Sir Scoots once more grilled him.
Hello again, Sir Scoots here. This time I've got Olof Meister, the world-famous Olof Meister from Fnatic. How are you, buddy?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Usually, last time I interviewed you, I think it was a couple years ago, kind of a different Fnatic, a different era. You guys were rocking and rolling. You've had these ups and downs. You were the team to beat, then you were in a slump. You had an injury for a little while. Let's walk through that. Like, what motivates a guy like you to be at the top of it, and then you go down a slump, then you get hurt? Like, what gets you back to this part? Like, what motivated you?
Just the love of the game. I mean, I want to play Counter-Strike 24/7. Like, I have to play it less now because of the injury. Like, I don't want to get it back and stuff like that. But, like, and especially being at the top, you want to get back to the top because when you were at the top, that was a really good feeling. And Like everything went so smoothly, and it really affects, for me personally, like if I do bad in Counter-Strike, if it affects my personal life. If I do really good, I'm so much happier as a person to everyone around me in my.
Yeah, and obviously your pedigree is legendary. Literally, you've been at every single major. You've made it out into the playoffs of every single major. First two were with LGB, right? And then you joined Fnatic, and it's been Fnatic ever since. Obviously, you've got a couple actual major wins under your belt as well. So, you've been to the top of the mountain, so to speak. So I guess that desire to get back is even more important, right? You're still ranked 13th, so let's not kid ourselves. It's not like you're at the bottom of the heap. And, you get those rankings have a lot of variance, right? So let's talk about, coming in. You had 2 losses. You went 3-2, right, to get out. Hard struggle, right? But you guys are never great in group play. You never make it easy on yourself. That's also part of your legendary status, right? I don't know why is that? You just warm up late?
I don't know. We always talk like if you do really good in the group stage, and if you go like 3-0 here, you get a day off, and we always used to joke about that back in the days when we were really good at let's go for 2 series. We can really have a day off here in like City, but you never ever have had a day off in my never.
And then your 2 losses, I mean, no slouches, you lost to VP and you lost to SK, right? So walk me through those 2 losses. VP on Cash, 16-11. What jumps out at you about that match?
VP kind of surprised us in the video. We weren't expecting some bans that they did, so they kind of outplayed us in the veto, to be honest. But then again, Cash is a map that we should be able to play better on against VP. We always used to play close games, and we just had a really bad T side. They closed us, and I think they stacked, not stacked, but they were always like, when we wanted to go mid, there were 3 guys there. When we wanted to go A, there were 3 guys there. They kind of read us the whole time. And then as CT, it was really hard for us because we were so much behind, but we were really close to doing a comeback. And they just closed it out.
And then SK, Astralis, you played them on Nuke. Yeah. Poster match, 16-14. Good map for them, obviously. Good map for you in that sense. What are you taking away from that one, other than Nuke is Nuke?
I don't think that they were ready for us to. We wanted to play Nuke against them. We had a game plan, and we didn't. We made a few mistakes. They have a lot more experience on it, so I think they can adapt faster than we can. But we have been practicing it a lot and made a lot of progress on it. So.
And now, fast forward, you're going to be playing inside here, packed house, a team you've played before at majors, right? Gambit, sound familiar? Quarterfinals. Thoughts on that one? Obviously, now we move to best of 3s, which everyone loves more anyway.
Of course, we're happy with the draw, but we can't underestimate Gambit. They're a really strong team, and we have played them so many times in so many different maps. We know them a lot, and they know us a lot. So it's gonna be a tough game, and I think that they surprise a lot of people here. It's gonna be a fun game.
Yeah, that addition to Zeus has really just done something to those guys. It's really, he's fired them up. So now, lucky you, if you win that, you get the winner of SK Astralis, right? Any thoughts on who's going to win that one?
I think that SK is going to win. I mean, what can you say? They have they won like 5 tournaments in a row or something like that. So I'm going to go with them.
Fair enough.
But
are you going to beat them? Are you going to beat them then?
That's the goal, man.
And I guess in a way, if you do win it, you got that team out of the way early. But still, like the odds of going out early are drastically increased.
Everybody says that when you're on the top. I used to say that as well, but. In the end, you always want the easy way.
Wait for the hardest at the final, right? Yeah,
makes sense. I want to play them in the final.
Makes sense. That's the bravado of it. Well, we can beat them now.
You have to beat them.
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So the other side of the bracket, Big takes on Immortal, and North takes on the hometown favorites, VP. So that first one, Big Immortals, what do you think?
Man, like Big has surprised me so much, and I want to say Big, but I think more is going to do it.
And then, of course, we've got the hometown guys, Virtus Pro and North, and they have this crazy rivalry on social media going on right now as well, right? And playing each other a lot. I mean, odds, fans, everyone probably thinks Virtus Pro is going to take this home crowd all the way to the finals, but are your thoughts on that? You think they can?
I think they can for sure. It's a major. They've been playing really good. They're going to get more and more confidence, for every win they get. And last game, it was really close in Mirage. They played them on in the group stage, right? And I think that Virtus Pro should have won that, so I'm gonna go with Virtus Pro on that one.
All right. So then, if you look all the way to Sunday, you're taking on Virtus Pro in the finals? Yeah?
I'm taking on somebody on the finals.
All right. Fair enough. All right, any final words you want to say to your fans and the folks in the audience?
I just want to say thank you for cheering for us, even though we haven't done that good lately. And also, I want to say Siema to all the Polish fans.
Thank you very much. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
One of the legendary players in Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Olof Meister, talking to Sir Scoots there, a man who has been every single playoff along the way. It doesn't matter where he's playing well or badly, always finds a way to get to that top 8. And also, gents, it's the 3rd consecutive major they faced Gambit in the quarterfinals.
That's quite surprising.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you also look at the last major, different Fnatic lineup. They had a couple other guys in there. So, yeah. Cool little story there, but I don't think it's going to mean a whole lot, especially considering I think this Gambit as well is the first time we've seen Gambit look dangerous in series play, in the best of threes. That's where they've always kind of stumbled in the past. But this one, if you have Adren playing in this way, if you have this team now feeling confident, because even they had a boot camp before this event where, because they didn't go to Cologne, where they said things weren't going well. They actually said that the boot camp was almost a little bit of a disaster. They were losing everything. And it is funny how that works. There are tournaments where you go into it losing everything. Everything's gone wrong in practice. You just get destroyed by everyone online, and then for whatever reason it all clicks, it all works at the actual event itself. So I think that's what they're experiencing a little bit here.
This team is a legendary team, Robin. It has incredible lineup with the 4 that they've got, all previous winners, either won twice or they've won 3 times. Dennis is the man that hasn't won one yet. Do you think the burning desire will show through here?
No, I mean, definitely. And when we were doing the rundown yesterday versus Fnatic, I mean, Dennis for me is he wins you pistol rounds, right? And when you win pistol rounds, on his own. And when you win pistol rounds, then you tend to win games. So I can definitely see him being really hungry into getting his major win as well.
All right, we're going to get more from you in just a moment. But I'm hearing the teams are ready backstage. So, ladies and gentlemen, at home, wherever you're tuned in around the world, and here in the Toron Arena, here's your teams.
Leader Zeus is a legend in the CIS scene, having won numerous majors in CS 1.6, but a CSGO major has thus far eluded him. Following his dismissal from Na'Vi, the team he founded, the king of slow-paced CS, is looking to bring his band of misfits to a deep finish. Youngsters Hobbit and Mao are steadied by the rock-solid consistency of Adrian. And this team is never one to be trifled with. Welcome on stage, Gambit Esports. Four of their players have won multiple majors playing together. JW and Flusha are the game's most decorated names. Olaf and Krims are the best duo in history. Yet, Fnatic have struggled to hit such highs in 2017. Seeking to recapture their powerful play of last year, they rely upon talent and team play to win their rounds. Will CSGO's most legendary core once more battle to a major final? Welcome on stage, Fnatic.
Okay, we're hoping for more coordination during the game, has to be said, but the gents will find their way to their booths eventually. Slightly confusing because it is, of course, opposite the other side of the booth, so they'll get there eventually. I guess we should probably talk about Fnatic in the sense that they have to reach the final here if they want to promote that legacy that they had, with winning 2, winning 3, but it's a difficult road, this top half of the bracket.
Yeah, obviously the stretch of having to go through SK or Astralis is a big deal, but even more so, I mean, just getting there for this team would be huge at this point with everything that they've kind of gone through and all the struggles they've gone through. Just arriving at the finals would be phenomenal. I think it'd be sick if this was like the Fnatic that just for some reason just showed up like the old school Fnatic and just won the whole thing. I think it'd be great, but that next matchup, right? If they do happen to get through this one, that next matchup is going to be tough. That's going to be the roadblock.
Yeah, SK versus Astralis in the same side of the bracket as these two. On the other hand, Gambit have a little bit of a curse to break here, Robin. We all know they come to an end eventually. Is this third time the charm?
I mean, possibly. The way they've been playing, they have all the tools to make it further than quarters, but stopping them might also be a very dangerous Fnatic. A Fnatic that's been just very good throughout this group stages. A Fnatic that we really haven't seen at all this year.
Why do you think that is? Magic?
No, I think it's a little bit of both. I think that, the biggest thing that they were saying, especially with their playstyle, is mostly individual play, and then with that comes you need good communication and you need good teamwork. And we've seen just small little things that Fnatic tends to do, and especially during their prime, just stuff that people aren't necessarily thinking of, and it's like really small things where an example on Mirage, for example, Offmice comes up A ramp, he shoots once to just lure it was actually Simple, he was luring Simple to watch A ramp, and then Fnatic have 2 players from Palace just insta-peeking, and then Simple is always watching A ramp. It's just very, very small things. The Fnatic has always been really good at inventing, essentially, and that's what makes them so deadly, and that with that, like I said, comes communication, and so far this tournament, they did say that was their main thing they had to work on. I definitely feel that they've improved drastically on that.
Is the problem also related to the fact that the teams in this kind of maybe 4 down to maybe 25 in the world are much closer than they've ever been before?
Sure.
I mean, in the sense that if you have a bad day, you're going to get beat by most of those teams.
I think we're starting to see more of those teams kind of do upsets in like the BO1s, right? And I think this is a Fnatic that we could have seen for the past 2 months, but there is a lot of truth to what JW said, where we get a little unlucky in some of the draws that they've had. I mean, they've been unlucky in the sense that they've won the games that they need to win in the past, and like a team like SK will get upset, or a team like Astralis will get upset, and then they end up having to face them to make it out of the groups, or be in some tiebreaker with SK and Envy at EPL finals. So it doesn't always in this system come down to, in some of these group stage systems, it doesn't always come down to how you win. It also matters who else is losing and who you're going to match up with at the end, and they've gotten unfortunate in that sense. So I think this is a Fnatic that we could have seen if they'd made it out of group stage in the past. I think if that pressure was removed a little bit ago, we could have seen like a very, very dangerous Fnatic coming into this major, and I think now we're just finally getting it.
JW's had a good tournament so far, Robin. Important player as ever, but is he the one that you want to see step up on a regular basis? Do you want to see some of the other guys, some of the big guns coming out and firing? We talked about Dennis's prowess in pistol rounds, for instance, but do you want to see more from the rest of the team?
I mean, their best player statistically for all the majors has always been Flusha. So it's Flusha that you're kind of looking into here. Hope that he's going to show up a little bit more in the playoffs. He did have some nice rounds, some nice clutches, and then the guy in the video, Olafmeister, with Scott, best player in the world back in 2015. He was just so good individually. Just the fact that it's like, just opens up maps like training. We just run our T connector and you just kill people, and that's kind of like what we compare him to Cold Sarah to this day, right? It's like Cold Sarah is so dominant, and that's exactly what Olafmeister was back in 2015.
Why is he not there now?
It's unrealistic, I think, to imagine that he's going to be able to keep up that level. I mean, the tough thing was he was so good that we even said that this Fnatic team, no matter how much they were winning, no matter what event it was, like the conversation was always like, if Olaf ever just drops off even a little bit, like this team is going to be in trouble. And like we see it when he had the injury, he fell off, and so did Fnatic, and they struggled to get back to that level. But if you weren't watching Counter-Strike in 2015, you missed a treat, because the Olaf even does things that Cold Zera doesn't do right now. I mean, this is a guy where entire tactics were based on him. Like think think Cobble, when Cobble first came out, teams like didn't really know how to play it when like in some of the later iterations, and Fnatic just figured out just send Olaf over to platform and he's going to get you 2 kills like pretty much like clockwork every single round. He's going to go and no one could beat him, no one could outduel him, no one could outthink him in that kind of scenario. I mean, there was even an event Flusha gave a post-game interview after a win and he's like, yeah, we just gave a timeout and we just said, Olaf, go kill people for us. Just go win us the game. Like that was their entire conversation during a timeout, and he went and did it. So it's just like this guy. If anyone is going to get back to that level, I think Olaf would be the biggest tree we could have. But obviously, you can't go wrong saying any name on that team.
Yeah, sure. Hearing that we're moving towards the Map Vitosis players getting their final settings together, so we do have a little bit of time to fill in. Robin, it's the ideal opportunity to talk about when you played against these guys. What was it like playing? I mean, it was 2014-15. You had some of those matches against Olaf where he just went absolutely bonkers.
No, he definitely did.
How do you cope with a team when they do stuff like that?
It's really difficult, right? It's just even if you have you think you might have a really good idea on what they're doing, and one great example is JW, the way that his playstyle is. It's very random. When you watch the game, especially back in the day, you just felt that he played stupid. That was the mindset. It was just like he plays so stupid.
But he did it with confidence.
But he makes it work.
Right.
Just random push, especially we see he's still notorious from that to this day with pushing, buying Mag 7s, sawed-off shotguns, and just dropping everywhere and just playing really random. And even if you know what's going to happen, it's still extremely hard to play against.
Yeah.
And when you have that. So if JW plays well, and especially for this tournament, it does open up quite a lot of space, right? For players like Olaf Meister. Krims, for me, back in 2015, he was the guy who essentially made this whole the best single player to hold bomb sites, for example, on Inferno. Like just the fact that it's like didn't necessarily get a lot of kills, but just the fact that he kept on staying alive, he kept on delaying the push, so his teammates can come in and just save him. And that was something that during that era was really difficult to do, mainly because of the overpoweredness of flashes and molotovs. It's like you can't really play just a solo on a person's side anymore. It was really difficult, and he kind of brought that back.
I can hear a tinge of annoyance in your voice as well, which means that you've suffered at the hands of Krims on bomb sites.
This lineup I've actually never lost to, so I'm quite okay with that. That was the first.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I mean,
Did you play this lineup?
Yeah, their first lineup ever in ESL 1 Cologne,
2014.
the major. Yeah.
Nice.
Played him in the final, never lost. But I might be very
So you're
correct.
what, 1-0?
But he retired straight afterwards. Like, just like that's it. I'm done. I've
Going out
achieved
on top.
achievement ticked off.
Yeah. No, but they are very hard to play against. I think that when this team is on fire, when this team is communicating well, and the teamwork's on point, they're just extremely deadly. I think they can beat anyone in this tournament.
Got to rekindle that though, haven't they?
Yeah, just to touch on what Robin kind of spoke about, if you play against, and this goes with a lot of different players, but whenever you're in a match against someone who's just going off the way that Olaf can, like it is like mentally exhausting, because you're just like, what can we do? No matter what we call, like he's going to be somewhere. We have to face him eventually. If we go at him, he's going to kill 2 or 3 of us. If we go away from him, he's going to come in and clutch the round. It just is like this kind of hopeless feeling. And it's funny because you heard some of that talking to Astralis after their SK game. They were just like, yeah, what are we going to do? Cold Zera had one of the games where he just got 35 kills. Like, what can you do against that? There's not really much you can do.
No, just get on with it, I guess. I remember Anders commentating on a game with JW back, I think it was 2014 or 15, and he said it was something like, I don't think JW even knows what he's going to do. So how the hell did the other team figure it out?
He's like the master of that. And I mean, back in the earlier days before the op nerf, and this is a long time ago, he was just unbeatable in that sense. And this is a team that like has all these good players, but if you look at the way their styles kind of fit together, it's interesting because not a lot of teams can make this work. But you have someone like JW, just that aggressive, always creating space, always finding information, always aggressive, usually getting a kill off of his crazy plays. And then you have someone like Krims who can anchor down those bomb sites, like what Robin talked about, and that leaves guys, like Flusha, like Olaf, like Dennis, to be able to make plays across the map based off that information. They can rely on Krims to make the right decision, stay alive, to get them in better position. They can do so many different things, and it allows them to have the freedom to make the individual plays they like to make, and not a lot of teams can pull that off. It does require a high level of communication. It does require a high level of individual skills, and we've seen teams try and replicate it, and it just doesn't always, it rarely works out the same way that Fnatic have done it in the past.
We talked about Zeus and we talked about Hobbit and Adren. Hobbit and Adren, by the way, both inside the top 10 on HGL TV for this for the group stages at least. Yep. And we talked about the legendary status of Zeus as an in-game leader. What about Dozier? He seems to have been around for absolutely ever. I mean, I can't remember going to a tournament where I wasn't talking to him at some point in the future, whether it was 1.6, whether it was Counter-Strike Global Offensive. He seems to have been around forever. How is that guy not 40 years old?
Maybe he is.
He might be.
No one knows, actually. No one knows. I remember in the beginning of CSGO when he was playing with his brother, Fox, in the CS scene. He's been around forever in CSGO and even in the 1.6 before, and I think he's fallen off quite a bit as of late.
Yeah,
he's not the star player he once was.
He's definitely not the star player. Very, very, very slow-paced player. Likes to just stand in one spot and wait.
This was supposed to be a positive section on Dozier.
That's to my point. Because the fact that he likes to wait so much, people lose patience and they run into his crosshair and get kills. And that's great to have.
Well, he's playing in his 6th quarterfinal. How many did you have?
Quarterfinals?
Yeah.
I only played 3 majors, I think.
Oh. 3 for 3 though.
I'm 3 for 3.
Yep.
3 finals.
3 finals as well.
Oh, I know. Yeah, he's the only player in
Can't
history to
roast
do
me
it.
that way,
I can't win. I was trying with the stats, but there's no way you can actually beat Fifth Larry with stats like that. So, he's playing his 6th quarterfinals, so plenty of experience on this side as well. I'm hearing that we're headed towards the veto. You can see the players just getting ready in the lobby. So let's turn our attention to maps in this one, because it's obviously very different for those that were tuning into the group stage. We had this brand new veto format. It did throw a few curveballs here and there. We're pretty much back to what we expect now. It's a best of 3. They're both going to choose their best map, you'd assume, and then we end up somewhere in the middle for the 3rd one.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is going to start being, I think it's a pretty cool curveball that Fnatic have because of how close that nuke game was versus Astralis. Is like now our team's going to be a little bit intimidated or scared of that. Or is Fnatic even was that map specific to Astralis, or can they bust that map out against other opponents as well? But I mean, right off the bat, you have to imagine Gambit's going to take away Mirage. It's a map that Fnatic loves to play. It's like one of their most played maps. Fnatic, you imagine, is going to take out Cobble, which is like the 2nd best map. Fnatic likes Overpass, so I imagine they'd leave that one in at least until later. The big thing is, Gambit has Overpass and Cobble. Those are like their overwhelmingly 2 best maps you have. And then when you get to the other ones after that, it's Train and Inferno. And Fnatic actually beat them on both of those maps at DreamHack Summer. So you do get a little bit of a risky situation. I think we'll see definitely one of those maps, one of those either Train or Inferno in this series.
Yeah, and it was actually quite funny, that event at DreamHack Summer one. Actually, Nuke was the 3rd map. So even back then. So I don't think we're going to see that necessarily gamble coming in for Fnatic. I really don't think they're going to just be gambling. And even though they played good versus Astralis on Nuke, I think they have a lot of other options, and this is a team that can essentially play every map. So I think coming into it, like Jason was saying, Gambit is really good on certain maps, but and one of them is Cobblestone, but that's Fnatic's permaban. So
the funny thing is, like, both of these teams play like 6 maps, right? At least 6, but like they don't have like outside of Overpass and Cobble for Gambit, there's not like any overwhelming favorite map for Fnatic in terms of like their winning percentage, but they do play like all the best teams in the world on some of these maps. So take that with a grain of salt. It's just going to be, I think that nuke thing is going to be a pretty interesting part of this. Gambit hasn't played it since April, so that could be a dangerous map to get them on, but I think if you're Fnatic, you have to take out one of Overpass or Cobble. You can't let both of those maps go into the process.
These lineups this year have only played Inferno or Train whenever they've met.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's quite nice.
Only those maps. The last time they played different maps was actually E-League, which they had slightly different lineups, of course, where they played Dust 2, Overpass, and Cash.
Ah, Dust 2.
Good old Dust 2.
How we miss it.
I'm not going to see that now.
Did I raise a little thing that?
Yeah, you've brought the mood down on the desk, Paul. Camaraderie is at an all-time low.
Damn.
It's all right.
But it's coming back, so it's all good, and it'll be new and brilliant and fun and interesting and.
Back in the room.
Yes.
Yeah. Fnatic is going to. I would like to see them. I think they should be fine with Train if that goes in. I mean, because you have to think that Mirage isn't going to be available to them. So what would they pick after that? They don't have like great win rates and nothing else necessarily sticks out. But against a team like Gambit, they've already beat them on it. That's kind of where you lure them into a trap, I guess. If you're Gambit, is just saying, yeah, we know what to do now. Finally, if we've played it so many times this year, surely by now you can come up with a solution to what Fnatic does.
Yeah, and under these lineups, by the way, I love the stairs. Fnatic haven't lost to Gambit this year
At all?
No.
Actually,
With these lineups.
Speaking of it, I would love for Gambit to actually pick Cash.
Would you?
Yeah.
Why?
Just a gamble, like you're saying. They've only played Train Inferno before, and it feels like Fnatic has a pretty good idea on what Gambit likes to do on those maps, even if. And it's maps as well that really puts the strength of Fnatic's players, especially a map like Train. You have JW, like I said, just pushing randomly everywhere with Mag 7. So you have Olofmeister with you can essentially have the dual op setup if you want. Train is a good map for that. T-connector push. I just feel like it doesn't necessarily fit Gambit 2 or the matchup, I feel like. Whereas for Cash, Gambit played, I think, VP on it earlier to the tournament, and also did Fnatic, and Fnatic was not necessarily looking really great, that good on cash.
Okay, just checking through their maps, Jason. It's quite interesting, isn't it, with Fnatic, because they've played Overpass, Mirage twice, Nuke, and Cash. Plenty of options.
Yeah.
And so did Gambit look at that and think, well, we've studied all of them, we understand how they play on all these maps, and then actually suddenly they get thrown a completely different map?
That's why I'm thinking this. That's why I put so much emphasis on the Nuke thing. Is it just be? I just want to know if like Fnatic has that prepared just in general, or if it was just for Astralis, because I think that'd be a very cool way to kind of be able to play chicken with different teams in the veto process. Obviously, that's not going to work against an SK or an Astralis if they get there. But against Gambit, you might be able to do it. They haven't, like I said, they haven't played it since April, and it's not exactly a great map for them. So you could throw that in there, but. I think the big thing for Fnatic is because they've got so many maps in their pool that are like all right around the same, like just average win rate, and maps that they're not great on but they can compete on. I think you have to take away just the best maps. I think that's their goal. You're going to get at least one with this veto process, right? You have to be able to take out Overpass or Cobble, and I think Fnatic is just going to be much more confident, obviously, on Overpass. They barely even play Cobble these days.
There was a question I had on social media a couple of days ago, which we didn't manage to get to, which was, why is Inferno so popular at majors? It is the most played map in history. It's also been the most played map here. Why is that? Explain why.
It's just a very balanced map. I feel like it's always been. It's one of those maps where it's like, especially with this system, it doesn't necessarily matter if you start CT or T side, and that's one thing that you go back to, especially in best of one games, where it's like, well, the veto process works, and you end up picking, and you end up playing whatever side that your opponents pick, right? Whereas for Inferno, it doesn't really matter. You can start T, you can start CT. It's a very well-balanced map. That's why you also, in the early stages of CSGO, you also saw a lot of Dust 2. Mainly for that reason, because do you really want to gamble and do a best of one on Train, for example, start T side, to get a lot of rounds, or even Nuke? It's a very whereas those are more suitable for best of 3 games.
Yeah, and also I think it even could be a bit simpler than that in just the sense that it's just a fun map to play. Players like playing on it, and
players like fun.
Yeah, players enjoy having fun.
Amazing. Who would have thought?
Also, if you like, a lot of these players that we have in the professional scene. I mean, we're certainly getting some newer and some younger ones, but a lot of like the older guys, a lot of the guys who have been around for a while, like Inferno has always been a classic map in Counter-Strike. Like you always remember watching like some big tournaments on Inferno, like huge matches on Inferno. So not only is it fun to play, but there is like that feeling that if you play Counter-Strike and you've been around for years, you had to have gotten good at playing on Inferno. So I mean, it's a map that pretty much every player is going to have a pretty decent amount of knowledge on and a pretty comfortable feeling on.
Most played map here at the PGL Major, rather than all time, is actually Train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a little crazy to me. I wouldn't have expected that one, but we've been seeing it come back. I think a lot of teams are starting to like that as well. It's another one of those maps where I remember when Cobble was like a very popular. I think it was around like MLG Columbus that Cobble was played so much in the group stages, just because it was. It's a map where we talk about all the time when Cobble comes up is you can't do a whole lot of aggression on the CT side. It is a map that limits that. So if you're going into a group stage and you just want to be safe, Train's another similar map. You can do CT aggression, but for the most part, Ts can just sit back. And if all goes wrong, if they're getting destroyed, if they're down 8-0, if everything's going to hell, you can just sit back for 30 seconds. You can be safe. You can just watch for pushes and then execute something and just pray it works. So there's a little bit of safety in that sense in the group stages.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think the Twitch chat went crazy because they were calling it Counter-Strike Cobble Offensive.
Yeah, well, everyone was loving the Dragon Lores, right?
Absolutely. They like the drops, that's for sure. I've just sparked Twitch chat, sorry, mods. They go mad right now, I can see it. Also, Mirage and Inferno second most. You'd kind of expect that, wouldn't you, with the map pool that we have. But do you think it will switch around now we're into the best of 3s? Because playing so much of the Train and Inferno, teams will then know how the other teams are playing, so then maybe they want to move away from those. No,
I mean, definitely. And on top of that, you only get one ban in the beginning, right? So we will definitely see a lot more variety, I'd say, in the playoffs compared to what we saw in groups, and especially now as well, where we don't have... I feel like that's why we always had the randomizer first, because then you got a lot more...
You miss the randomizer.
You like the randomizer.
I like the randomizer.
He's a heathen. He likes the randomizer.
I liked it,
Listen, I think we should just get the coin flips back.
Yeah, maybe we can just...
we can start that up again.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. No, but I think we're just going to see a much larger spread here of maps. Whereas teams just tend to have one permaban, and that's obviously one that we're not going to see, but everything else I think is just up for grabs.
This is where, now that we're in the playoffs of the major, this is where you bring out all the tricks that you may have worked on that you haven't shown quite yet in the group stage. You know, you might have been holding some things back. You know, maybe not for Fnatic, considering they were in that kind of do or die moment in the last match. It was either qualify or go out, so might as well bring it out then just to make sure. But someone like Gambit, certainly if they've worked on anything, and also this is where if you've worked on like a hidden map, to like, you know, like a nuke, for instance, that they busted against Astralis, but just as an example, if there's a map that you don't normally play in your pool and you've worked on it specifically for this situation, it's these matches right here. It's the playoff matches, it's the bracket matches that you bust one of those out and you try and confuse or catch your opponents off guard. So I'm expecting some craziness from a couple of the teams in these quarterfinals.
Okay, I want to ask you, as a man who's played in 3 majors, been in the finals of those majors as well, what is it like as a player? Try and explain to the people watching at home who perhaps haven't been to a major, haven't experienced it themselves. What is it like going out on a big stage in front of people like this, trying to block that out, trying to focus on all the things that you've practiced the day before, trying to go through all the things the in-game leader's been telling you, and focusing on what maps you're going to be playing, and trying to actually hit the shots as well? What's it like? What's the pressure like?
No, I mean, definitely pressure, right? That's why I've actually always wanted the players to have like the heart rate monitors that you see during clutches, right? Because it's not necessarily during the clutch that you're going to be nervous. It's right after, right? It's the tension that builds up. It's the adrenaline that builds up. And playing in front of thousands of people, here it's going to be, I think, 15,000. It's just a great feeling overall, right? And
did you get nervous though before you? Did you have like that moment before you went into the booth, or even just before the match, or as soon as the first round starts? When did it happen for you?
You didn't necessarily get nervous per se, even during games. It would obviously be if you're not necessarily playing well, or if it's a match point for the other team, and then you try and then you get a little bit nervous, right? But I think as for everyone else, this is what they do, right? This is what they do on a daily basis.
Sure.
And they
But is it like that at a major? Does it not have a slightly different feel to it?
Listen, when you make 3 finals in a row,
it's just
majors
boring.
just get boring to you, don't they, Robin?
They do. They do.
It's just,
the
can we just
old.
skip all the games, just put me in the finals, so, you know.
Did anyone on your team get nervous? Was there anyone in particular? Because you all seem quite chilled all the time.
I think the interesting thing is I know a lot of players get nervous during pistol rounds, like the very first pistol round, and then once the game goes live, they kind of forget about it.
Yeah, because you can zone in then, can't you? You kind of like, your vision narrows to the screen and you kind of forget that you're even in a booth and there's even people there.
Right, and the other crazy thing is winning a clutch. Like if you win a one-on-one and your adrenaline gets pumping, that usually like initiates some nerves for like 20 seconds, and you have to calm those down. As the clutch winning is always that got me all the time.
Yeah. Did you have moments like literally where your hands were shaking, so your mouse movement was slightly different, or was it not that excessive?
No, I don't think it ever gets that excessive.
Have been some players like that.
Oh, I never had to worry about the shaking hands thing. No. Steady
as she goes.
Steady.
Yep.
Steady as she goes. Yeah.
Robin, were you shaky hand, sweaty palms?
Never.
Any of these things?
I mean, after clutches, when the adrenaline is pumping. I mean, heck, I could use a timeout right after those. You know,
did that happen?
I'm not that young anymore. You know, I need a breather.
Did that happen often, or?
No, I mean it definitely did, especially during big matches, right? You do win in a really important clutch.
I just meant whether you clutched much. That was all.
I do. Second.
Saving the world one defuse at a time.
I'm trying to burn him. I just can't burn him. Like, how do you burn a man who's been in three major finals?
9:44. That's fine. You know, that's all good.
It was coming next.
In front of this Polish crowd as well.
Exactly. I've experienced. Like, that's what I said. I experienced
having flashbacks.
Have you gone through the video with him? Has he dissected it for you?
What video?
The 9:44 video?
Oh, no, I haven't gone through it.
Get him to do that for you in the break. It's a terrific experience.
It is.
Robin basically breaks down where he was 44 times unlucky. We have the vetoes incoming, and Gambit are first. They've banned out Mirage, which we kind of expected, and Fnatic have gotten rid of Cash.
Yeah, and that's why I said Gambit should have picked Cash.
Yeah.
Fnatic, they're so smart. We are going to see a cobblestone pick here, though, for Gambit, I believe.
It'll be Cobblestone or Overpass. I imagine it'd be Cobblestone just because Fnatic doesn't play it. So I think that's actually the big risk, right? Because Cash isn't exactly a great Gambit map at the moment.
Train.
Okay, so Gambit go with Train.
This is all over the place.
Yeah, this is crazy,
because
Fnatic are going to be fine with that.
No, but I mean, Train is a map that Gambit's actually been very good on. I think they're coming into the major. They were 4-1 in their past 2 events, and I think that actually goes to 5-1 considering they beat Virtus Pro on it. So they're going to be feeling very confident.
It's going to be a straight-out rematch here from DreamHack Summer. We could even potentially then see Nuke as the third.
Yep. These are the only 2 maps these 2 teams have played this year. When they played each other. It's the only 2 maps.
So they're just very happy with these.
Yeah,
It's
very
comfortable
sour.
matchup. No one taking any risks. A gentleman's agreement to pick all the same maps. That is very curious. Why Gambit wouldn't go towards Cobble or Overpass considering they're so good on them?
Yeah.
Is
this just comfort for each team?
Could be. Yeah, it very well could be. I mean, Fnatic and Cobble finally coming through here. That's good from them. They haven't played that map, so I mean, I'm surprised they even floated out this far. Obviously.
Yeah, same and here as well.
I'd go for Overpass if I'm Gambit. I know Fnatic's better on it, but I mean, you have to trust in your own Overpass at a certain point, right?
Ooh, yeah, they've picked Overpass. Okay.
That's a sick third map as well, if it gets to that. I mean, Fnatic showing some good things on it, but obviously, I mean, that's just kind of the brawl map, and that just means there's no huge favorite. And I guess they just looked at that. They look at Nuke and they just say, we don't even want to mess with it. That's more of a comfort pit as Gambit just saying, we're going to make sure that we're good on whichever map is the decider if we get to 3.
And Fnatic hasn't played Crane so far this event either, so you don't necessarily know where we have him on that map.
And historically, this is a map, while we talked about Olaf and how impactful he used to be for the team, this is a map that they usually relied on him very, very much. Now, it's gone away. I think it's actually more JW now, and his kind of aggression towards Ivy that is like the trademark of this Train team. This is the map where he gets like the auto shotgun and gets close up in Ivy and just wrecks people. So we'll be kind of interested to see how that's going to play out.
Yeah, and sure where the plans are going right now, but presumably they'll be back fairly shortly. We know the maps now. I guess gives you a chance to be able to tell us and tell the world where you think this quarterfinal is going to go.
I feel like
Gambit should. Do you want a coin?
No, I mean, I feel like Gambit should have gambled here a little bit. I feel like it's a little bit safe picks, especially knowing for their sake that they haven't really beaten Fnatic on these maps. So I think it's Fnatic are more than happy with how this veto went. It's the third one Overpass. Yeah, it could be a little bit dangerous if it goes to all 3 maps. But Train Inferno initially, I think it's Gambit's going to have a really tough time.
Yeah, I agree. I think there should have been even as I mentioned, I don't know why there's not like a Cobble pick right in that first pass. Like why right when Fnatic bans Cash, take Cobble. It's your second best map, and I mean actually it's right up there with Overpass. It's basically tied to be your first best map, and Fnatic doesn't play it. They're 0-1 on it. So take that one, just get a free win out of it. It feels like that could have been a huge opportunity for Gambit to go up 1-0, but they play it safe, fair play. The issue is they haven't beat them at all. I mean, they've lost to Fnatic twice on Inferno, once on Train already. So, going to be dangerous. But I think that also, if you're Gambit, you're looking at this like we didn't have a Dren playing at the level he's at this tournament. We didn't have this kind of boot camp that we've gone through has definitely raised the bar for these guys, raised their level of play. So they're just trusting in that.
Okay, we're going to find out some coach information now. So Scoots is on the main stage.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. I am Sir Scoots. I am joined by Jumpy, the coach of Fnatic. How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
All right, so we'll get to the vetoes and how you feel about that. I want to get a little historical stuff going first off. Obviously, there's big talk about this is a rematch from E-League, but in a way it really isn't. Sure, Gambit the exact same roster, but this is the old Fnatic roster back, right? 2 guys have left. The Godsend boys have come back after their brief vacation. So that, in your mind, probably resets it entirely, yeah?
Yeah. But we faced them at DreamHack Summer in Jönköping, and we beat them in the best of 3 there. So maybe this is like a rematch, but not a major rematch.
And let's talk about, they had a 3-0 group, breezed right through, couple days off to chill, relax, practice. You guys, as I talked to Olaf Meister, never make it easy on yourselves. You went 3-2, you ended up getting out. What did you do yesterday? How are you prepping in versus them having more days off?
I think we prepped like for every match. We talked about the veto, and it kind of got the way that we expected. So we feel good. We feel good and confident.
We talk a lot about motivation. Obviously, Fnatic's motivated to be back on top again, kind of the old crew back together, back champions back to back for some of them. All sorts of great stuff there. Zeus has added a new fire to Gambit. He's got this revenge motivation thing going against Na'Vi. He wants to do really well. And then you've got little old Adrian on that side. So how does your motivation and excitement going to battle theirs?
I think, just to play the playoffs in a major is motivated by itself. And it's a great team we're facing, and we want to take them down.
And let's talk about the maps. So they picked Train, you picked Inferno, you end up on Overpass. Kind of good maps for both of you. How are you feeling about the way that went?
We feel good. We expected them to pick Cobble or Train, so it felt good. And we've been working a lot on our both Cobblestone and Train. And now it ended up in Train, and we hope our practice gives the result we wanted.
One last question for you. Let's say you're a fairly new fan to Counter-Strike, don't know either team too well, you're watching from home. Who are your players to watch from either team?
Oh, I think it's hard to say. In our team, I think everyone can show up and be the star of the game. And I think in Gambit, like Adrian has been playing amazing this tournament, so it's a player to watch.
All right, thank you very much. Good luck. That's going to do it for us, Red Eye. Back to you guys at the desk.
Revenge all over the menu for this one, whether it be DreamHack or previous majors. It is Fnatic versus Gambit. We're going to get our final thoughts from our pair of analysts right now. Robin, it's interesting what he said, Jumpy, there, because he said they expected Cobble. So that means they must have a plan for it then.
No, definitely. I mean, that hence the
So they've
the
mind
cash
gamed
ban.
them, haven't they? It's exactly what Jason was saying.
I'm glad he's confused, because I am as well.
Because
I don't get it.
they've mind gamed themselves, Gambit,
I
haven't
don't
they?
understand it. Why do teams do this to themselves? Why do they want to make it so difficult, Robin?
I don't know, but that's why Fnatic was so smart, right? Because like they said, they expected Cobblestone, or they expected Train, and they were preparing for both of them. Hence the cash ban, right? And that's a map that I said in the beginning. It's like, if it's open, Gambit should pick cash, because Fnatic really hasn't been looking great on it. But instead, I feel like, yes, they did.
They've gone away from a massive strength, essentially,
Definitely.
for what feels like no reason.
This is a map that essentially made Gambit to who they are today, right? A map like Cobblestone, especially knowing that Fnatic doesn't necessarily play too much, I just feel like they're just making it harder for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, they're 12-2 on it this year. They've only lost to SK, and then, well, oddly enough, they lost to CLG, the Star Series, which again doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's where we are. But that, like, why don't you pick that map? But either way, let's get beyond that. I've had enough. Train being the first map. I'm done with it.
I want to go back to the aberration there. North American Counter-Strike winning on a map they shouldn't win.
That's what triggered him.
I mean, because he hasn't said anything bad about North American Counter-Strike in at least an hour and 20 minutes.
It's really not that surprising when you remember that Kusta's on that team.
There it is.
Yep.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. You got nothing for that one, Robin.
Incoming flame.
I don't.
Oh, yeah, I'm done. Yeah, my Twitter's going to blow up.
Yeah, it'll completely blow up. All right, let's bring in our commentary team for the first quarter-final of the day and say good morning, gents. How you doing?
Really well, thank you. Loving what they've done with the place here in Kraków. Looks
Yeah,
really nice.
They've made it a bit smart for us, haven't they?
Yeah, it's looking good. How are you feeling about this, Dan?
This is just really exciting. The whole setup is just perfect. It's just absolutely perfect here to just get some amazing games. Obviously, the crowd in Poland is pretty legendary, so I'm pretty excited to see how that goes over the course of the day.
Absolutely. We're disappointed because we couldn't see you spinning around in the lights in your shorts, Dan.
I know, right? I'm trying to start a thing. I don't know why. It's not really catching on, is it?
I think you look great in shorts, Dan.
Stick to the commentary, Dan. It's all good. Okay. Take us into game number one.
Thank you very much, Paul. It's a big arena. It's almost full already in the first game of the live stage of this major. Quite looking forward to this matchup, Gambit versus Fnatic. I think stylistically this is really interesting. What are your thoughts, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's really difficult to prepare for either team, and that's, I think, why it's going to be really interesting to me. I mean, Fnatic are just absolutely sort of ridiculous in how they want to move around the map. They do very unconventional and unorthodox things only they can do, because they essentially say, where one team might say, okay, guys, let's gather up over here, and, we've taken this bits of map control, and we'll attack together here. Fnatic will be like, oh, let's just push everywhere at once and take, 5 different aim battles, and that's just the style that they have, and it's just very exciting. And you never know what to expect when you see Fnatic playing. And it seems like they've made this work once again, because that was the style that just gave them so much dominance, so long ago.
Yeah, I think the key for Gambit is to work as a unit, whereas Fnatic are notorious for making individual plays, maybe sometimes all at the same time, to take a round or a map over the line. And obviously JW is going to be playing with confidence. They allow him free reign to make plays that don't make sense on paper. They're not logical, but they can win you a tournament. So it's going to be really interesting in that respect. Booths are quite nice as well. They're completely exposed to the public here, all directions, nothing but glass between them and people. So I am looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this setup is absolutely sexy, James. I'm loving it so far. And the other thing that's going to be really interesting is the fact that we have so many big game players, like big stage players, because there's so many, as it was covered on the desk, you've got just all of the Fnatic players, right? They're so experienced, and there's so much flair to their style, and they're a team that can really play off of the crowd, as Gambit can as well. So for all the teams, it's so difficult to get to this point of the tournament where you get to play on the stage. But they've made it there. Now it's time for them to really show us what they're made of. And I mean, I'm just expecting to see crazy stuff, to be honest.
Speaking of time, the 60-second countdown is very close to being activated. Just one player needs to ready up, and we will be good to go. So it's time to make our GoTV picks for the first map of the first match here in the arena in Kraków. For those of you in GoTV, my personal picks, you know, I'm a big fan of Adren. He's been delivering for his team. He's a big game player for Gambit, the clutch king of 100 ping. I have to pick him for this map, and I'm gonna go Adren and Hobbit for Gambit. Who are you looking at on Fnatic?
Ooh, it's a tough one, isn't it? I would probably say Olofmeister and JW, actually, just because it's Train, and I mean, to be honest, you could really select anyone. It's basically a trick question.
Yeah, but I'm asking you to select someone, Dan, so come on.
All right, I'll go Olof.
Just Olofmeister?
I believe in Olof. The king is going to make his return.
All right, and Olofmeister is quickly reconnecting to the server. He'll be back shortly, I'm sure. So many people here. Looking around the arena, we can see there's a Swedish corner, there's some Fnatic flags, and next to them there are Brazilians. They'll be in play later on. We've got German flags as well.
All the commentary
sad for those guys. But yeah, and the international commentators as well. We've got 3 commentary booths live here.
I feel like we're a bit spoiled, James. You know, we get to sit here in the middle of everything. That's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, we have maybe the best view of the stage. That said, our backs are to it.
That's
there
true.
We go.
That is a
look
downside,
at the
yes.
handsome people in the crowd. See there's a Denmark corner as well. So yeah, it's going to be good once things get kicked off. But tomorrow, when Virtus Pro start playing, I cannot imagine what it's going to be like in here.
That is something that we're all waiting to see, isn't it? It's just, I think I have no words for my expectations there. That's something where I just want to experience the sheer hype. I mean, it's legendary, isn't it? So, and they've worked so hard for it too. It's just the story is just perfect. We have so many cool stories here. I mean, obviously the bracket is full of potential heartbreak as well in the way that the draw worked, and also just seeing some of the newer teams too that will get to play on such a big stage. I mean, like Big, for example, that's an absolutely crazy result. But they've done so with incredibly impressive Counter-Strike. They absolutely deserve it. So I'm loving the fact that we're getting some of the old stories and the new stories at the same time here. It's great.
Yeah, looking at the second half of the bracket, I really feel like almost anybody can make it to the semi-final or even final on that half of the bracket. Yeah. So I think in that respect, it's going to be quite unexpected. Lots of Dozier fans in the crowd today. Nice to see that Adren brought a grill with him as well, as in an actual grill, not a girl. But the intro for him was cool. But let's not forget Dan's shorts. I think they are becoming something of legend. Your shots are 2 shots, as they say to Dan in the Bahamas. Well then, the countdown has begun. We're 60 seconds away from the pistol round on Train. So make sure you're ready.
So how do you feel with the whole map situation here, James? Do you think that one team is favored, or could it just go either way?
I think, again, I mean, it's hard to say because for me, Gambit are more of a team unit, but Fnatic, depending on the opponent and I don't know, depending on if they're hitting their shots, their individual plays can take them over the line. So map-wise, I think Gambit are comfortable, but Fnatic, you never really know just how strong they're going to hit, and how Gambit will be able to deal with that. If Fnatic, if JW can get up to some shenanigans around Ivy on Train, for example, and start pushing and doing some crazy stuff as we've seen him do in the past, then if it throws people off, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they got nervous on a stage like this. But enough about that. It is game time. The pistol is about to begin. Fnatic will be starting on the CT side. They will be defending on the first map of this best of 3. And Gambit will be the aggressors. Here we go.
Just listen to that crowd. It is time. Fnatic, of course, going with the typical kit and smoke on. Crims, everybody else.
It's a false start.
Oh no.
It's a false start.
Oh, it's all a tease. It's all a tease.
Just when you're ready to get mad hype as hell.
Okay, I'm
CTs
sure we'll get it
are
back.
still in CT, so everybody calm down. Okay, so Olofmeister is suffering an audio issue which is causing a delay here, so they will hopefully resolve that soon. We've had a few people have had issues with their in-ears in this tournament so far, so always good to bring spares. That deagle shot was really loud. Had to turn down our in-ears here. So hopefully his in-ears will be sorted out and they'll be good to go.
I can't take it, James. I can't take the tease, the weights. It's too much. You know, we stood up in our chairs, we're ready to get into this, and denied. Yeah, this is really interesting to me because I feel like for Fnatic, they've waited for so long to get to this moment. I think the last, I would say, perhaps even years since when Fnatic started to fall off, and then they switched players around, and we had all the Swedish shuffles. I think there was like a really big like humbling period for a lot of these players, and then they started to reappreciate what they had and all the success that they had that seemed to come so easily for them. And it seems like forever that we've seen them now in this position, sort of comfortable. They've re-innovated their style, and they're a more mature team, a more experienced team, and very ready for this. And as you said with Gambit, it's hard to know what to expect from them on the big stage. And again, it's you have a bunch of very experienced players there, so I've no doubt they have something special saved for this. And of course, both teams had time to prepare for one another as well, so we might see some shenanigans.
Yeah, just saw Mo on your screens there for a brief time, and you get a lot of attention on Adren these days, especially when it's time for LAN. But Mo is an explosive AWPer, so we can't forget about him, and the AWPs, I'm sure, will be coming into play during this map and this series. So Olofmeister having some frustration there with his in-ears.
Yeah, the AWPing is really interesting. Obviously, that's one of the things that makes Fnatic quite dangerous, because you have pretty much everyone who can basically pick up an AWP at any moment and do something, make a play with it. And obviously, this map is very interesting from that perspective on the T side. Originally, way back when Olofmeister made it, very famous. The aggressive play style very famous when he was considered the best player in the game at that time. He was one of the reasons was he could just run a T side, get a 30 bomb straight away by just playing very aggressively, basically winning games by himself. And we've seen glimpses of that form come back with Olofmeister, and this would really be, of course, the perfect time to see that once again. So I feel like this is really a perfect map for us to start off with these two teams.
Is he good to go? Looks like he might be. Looking forward to seeing Dennis on these pistol rounds. Infamously consistent on the pistols is Dennis.
Yep.
Again, he'll be looking for a place in that finals and beyond. Very dangerous player. Another one of my favorites. How can he not be?
I loved watching him through all the matches that Fnatic played, just because there's so many spots where he was just laughing, just super happy, laughing in all these scenarios. It's like everything's like a joke, to Dennis, and that's quite funny. If you see how scary he is on the server, and whenever he would win a clutch, you just see him just like smiling to his teammates and having a good old time, and just keeping the spirits up. And that's very important in a team game like this, having those players that just bring just so much positivity to the team. And Dennis is certainly one of those.
Yeah, looking towards there's more to the Gambit story now. We've seen a lot of talk about the existing Na'Vi team, and lots of rumors swelling out to that one as well. Does Zeus perhaps go back to Gambit? What if they are eliminated at this stage? What if they make the final? What if they go further than that? Lots of things are possible here. I think this is one of the most open playoff brackets that I've seen at a major. Partly thanks to the fact that SK and Astralis are playing each other in the very first round. But there's a lot of opportunity for many teams. So like if he is in the mix as a potential player to go the way of Na'Vi, then where is the line where if they go beyond this point, then it's less likely? I don't know. Lots at stake here.
Yeah, imagine how good it must feel for Zeus, having, not playing in that Na'Vi lineup. That was obviously a very hard time in his career, having spent so much time with them. Then to basically say, you know what, I still have the hunger, I still have the will to win. I'm going to find a ragtag team, and just bring them up to be able to win a major. And look how far he's come. That is quite a storyline. Zeus is definitely one hell of a guy, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's hard not to like the Gambit team and what they've done in the past year. Still waiting for Olof to rejoin the server at the moment. See Gambit wondering what's going on the other side. And maybe this gives the players some more time to get used to how exposed they are. You've seen the jib shots going through the ceiling into the booths. Really nice shots with all the player screens whirring in the background. And that is the very big trophy that they are fighting for.
I hope the team that wins it can lift it, James. Sometimes that's what I worry about. You know, okay, can you get that trophy in the air?
Yeah, our trophy was pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the heavier ones. So some extra moments for Gambit to talk amongst them. What's he doing? Good spirits in the Gambit side. And it's good that they're able to do that. This kind of thing might irritate some teams. Those of you with the hottest girlfriends in esports, I think it's reasonable to say.
So it's like there's still some issues, but is Olof back on the server? Do we have him back on the server? No.
I'll play. I'll do it.
Hey, I think, you know, maybe you'll get a chance, James. Maybe you'll get a chance.
I don't know any Swedish, but, you know, just, it's fine. It's fine. I'll do it. I'm in there. I've got my gear. I've always got my gear. Always, always. So his game does not appear to be open. And perhaps it's a case of channeling the audio to the right output if there are multiples.
You should get in there, James.
Well, we'll be getting in there tomorrow. I don't think
That's
they've
true.
announced the teams for the show match. Yeah.
Yeah, it just dawned on me earlier that.
But
yeah, we'll
I
be
mean,
in there.
the important things are that Janko and I are on opposite teams, and
Yeah.
I've promised him that he's going to get knifed. You know, these are the key takeaways from the show match coming tomorrow. We are, before this match gets underway, while these issues are looked at, we are going to have a look at a major forecast video. Take a look at this.
Well, I would say the favorites are like SK, Astralis and FaZe. Obviously a team like G2 is not even a legend, it's also really dangerous. I think those teams are like the teams you would least want to play.
SK, FaZe and Astralis, who are showing really good CS from months and months, so they have the consistency, so they will be good at this major for sure.
SK, they're on form. FaZe, they're looking really good. Astralis will get better even in 2 or 3 weeks, even better than now, so Virtus Pro gonna be again great, I'm sure. So it will be really hard. Also teams like Gambit and every other team which are already qualified, Fnatic, they're all looking better now.
FaZe, we have Astralis, we have SK, and at majors, Virtus Pro is always playing like out of their mind.
FaZe, Astralis and SK who are like the top 3 at the moment, and then like the underdogs, or how to say, black horses for them is just Navi, Gambit and so on, and they are like really good teams as well compared to many others who are in the major.
There's a lot of teams that is up and coming right now, and there's no teams that you can really underestimate. For example, I think teams like Fnatic and SK, even though they're still kind of at the top right now, they're not really number 1 or number 2. All these teams are still competing and they're really hungry to get that number 1 spot.
This is gonna be the most like the highest competition ever on a major for sure.
Definitely it's gonna be one of the hardest ones.
that you're facing. Get back the dreams that you were chasing. Open your eyes and you will see. It's time we're gonna set you free. Get up, let's get it started. Come on, we're gonna throw it down. Get up, it's what you got.
Welcome back, ladies and gents. It's time to kick off the first game of the quarterfinals here at the PGL Major live from Kraków. And it's Fnatic on the CT side of train here, Gambit on the T side, and already we're going to see Gambit making a march straight towards the inner.
Dennis hears some sound cues moving back, raising the alarm, and Flush is rotating around the connector position, but Gambit, they've slowed down. Olofmeister not waiting around, it's going for a push through Ivy to find the information. JW is close to main, but can they get towards B fast enough, because now that Teasum's looking to move in?
Yeah, it's a nice setup actually, I think, between the Fnatic players here. The fast rotation from Crims is coming in as well. Looks like they know what's going to happen. But you got to connect those USP shots long range. So far, nothing actually going the way of Fnatic. That's a really big problem for them, because now the Gambit start to get very close with those very dangerous Glocks. On those close range, they start to swarm as the bomb gets planted. This is wonderfully handled so far by Gambit. There's well, just Crims and JW left now. They're having a real struggle to get in. Gambit with a fantastic pistol so far. No, surely not. Denied. Dozy, I can't believe he's going for it already, James. The knife kill.
That's a reasonable read. JW alive for now, but not for long. Mo will finish things off in the pistol round. I like the value play from Dozier, looking for the knife. And again, it's good. It's a good psychological advantage for the first round of a best-of-3 series. The pistol goes to Gambit. Let's see what the choice of Fnatic is. Fnatic, a team where anyone can pick up a sniper rifle. JW made some money with 2 kills there. He hasn't bought anything. $2,000 in the bank, so they're definitely going to want to start with sniper. Rest of the team, though, on the force buys. That is disgusting behavior.
And this is something that Gambit are going to be very strong at pulling off, is these rounds when you're facing the pistols. As you said, Gambit, they play as a unit. They've got great leadership, and they know what to expect when they're up against a team like Fnatic in this position. So let's see how this goes. Looks like they are committing themselves into that B-bomb site, and they have a few Molotovs to assist them, as well as the regular utility you would come to expect, such as smokes and flashes. And here they go, Hobbit, first man in. That's his job with the MAC-10, looking to find out the information. I love the angle he's taken to try to clear the site. Really, really lovely approach here from Gambit, and it's going to work out quite well. Fnatic, a small response from Flusher, but the bomb is down.
Dozier will hear the rotation from Olofmeister, but his crosshair is all over the shot. Now Olofmeister's picked up an SMG, swiftly taken away though by Adren. Flusher's managed to get himself a MAC-10. It's a 2-on-3. There's more damage to be done. But Gambit, they've got 2 Molotovs. They can simply hold the high ground. It's very unlikely that Fnatic are going to be able to do anything about these Molotovs. So Gambit don't need to engage on the low ground. That said, it's useful fish for something more from the round. I'll not quite get it. 2-0 Gambits.
Very well handled round indeed, and I'm sure that's something we should come to expect from Gambit Esports as things do progress here. And Fnatic only able to steal away a MAC-10 there. Obviously they were able to do some damage, but I think Gambit will be more than happy surviving with 3 players there and only conceding a MAC-10. So again, nothing really to worry about there. They've all got helmets and so on. The MAC-10 is going to be hard to use, but it is actually in the hands of Olofmeister. So I'm curious to see how he's going to try to get value out of it in this round. He doesn't have any Kevlar to play with. It's just Flusher who saved Kevlar from the previous round. So Fnatic, they don't have too much expectation in this one. Maybe getting a couple kills would be a good result, but beyond that, it will be very difficult against the likes of Gambit in this position.
It's interesting that JW's gone for a full double eco. He's got $4,000, and if he's playing towards the IB position, it might be because he needs utility to slow things down with smoke grenades and the like, whereas often AWPers will be content moving forward without that. He's got $600 more than you'd normally have in a round such as this. Now the push comes in from Gambit, looking for another good eco. Hobbit is very exposed, and surely he's going to go down. He's in the red of 20 HP, trying to get out of there, and indeed he will be able to back off. And Mo can take up the angle. Bomb planted, Olofmeister moving through the A site. Remainder of Fnatic in B.
Again, another round with great movement from Gambit, great use of utility, very disciplined play. Starting things off in such a composed manner definitely bodes well for them. But, of course, ooh, that's a bit cheeky, isn't it? Olofmeister with a long-range headshot there. That's some additional damage done. Looks like Dozy will be able to handle Olofmeister, take him out the picture. Flusher, though, looking to save that Kevlar of his and the CZ potentially. Maybe a sneaky frag, but no, denied by Zeus ultimately as we move in to Fnatic's first buy round.
I think he was trying to pick up the weapon, which the bomb would have sent his way, but he was denied by Zeus. Good presence of mind, good awareness by Zeus. In those situations, if a weapon has been dropped, then you need to keep an eye on it because it will be seeked out by the opponents. So indeed, JW with AWP, full armor, and he's got his all-important smoke grenade. So we'll see where he heads to. Zeus quickly into the A site, and Mo can hold some angles for him. It's common for a player to be up the ladder towards the IB position on the CT side. Can sometimes see Device playing from there, maybe he will later on. But for now, it's Fnatic on the CT side. 4 M4s, the sniper onto JW, playing in the connector position for the time being, and you can see he's been boosted up as well.
Yeah, Fnatic taking this very slowly for sure, just really trying to see how Gambit wants to play this. What is the pace of their T side? There's a lot of information to be gathered in that sense here for Fnatic, so they don't want to get too aggressive too soon. Rather, it's better to test Gambit's offense. And should Gambit decide to go for a set-piece execution onto the A site, which is quite likely usually, and again, that would be a test for Gambit. Okay, how well is this going to work for us against one of Fnatic's setups? And the same for Fnatic. They get to test out, okay, how well are we holding these pushes? Because it's one of the most common strategies you'll see. And you can see that Fnatic aren't giving up any picks or looking for any picks, really. So Fnatic are running the clock down and forcing Gambit essentially to go for this set piece at some point. But there's only 30 seconds left and they still haven't got the bomb, and they're not really in position to attack just yet. It's just Zeus who's in a forward position. The rest of the team needs to get to the bomb site quickly, James. There's only 20 seconds left.
Yeah, they've played the slow game and it really hasn't worked out. They were looking maybe for an opening from Fnatic, but there's an opening. JW can kick things off towards the A site, and that's the bomb drop. 14 seconds. What do you even do, Gambit? You go to save in a situation. It's those to your left, picking up an M4. Can he get any damage done? Any more damage? Doesn't seem so. Apparently Gambit had a hard read that they would get an entry. Maybe because of Zeus's position they waited, but it ended up being a wait that was too long. Nobody came.
I do really like that idea from Gambit too, because perhaps you could be in this situation where maybe a team like Fnatic, you could maybe see them getting a bit antsy if there's a lot of time, that's being killed on the clock. Maybe they want to see some action. Maybe they will overextend somewhere, but credit to Fnatic holding their nerve completely, very composed, very disciplined. They had a game plan, an idea of how to approach that round. They stuck to it all the way to the end, and to see Crims already getting a trio of frags, that's a very good sign for Fnatic. The rock of the team, perhaps.
Look at the difference now. JW, last round he was over towards Connector. A nasty surprise from his boosted position. And now he finds himself towards B. So, looks like JW is going to be all over the place, and Fnatic are going to try and keep him as unexpected as possible. And I think normally you would expect him around the IB position, but it's Olofmeister for now. Gambit with 2 players going for the running jump. Maybe in case there's a second door, something they'll need to identify as this round proceeds. 1 minute 10 for Gambit.
Interesting that there's 3 players around Ali here for the Fnatic side at the moment. Well, there was 3. Now there's still, having 2 players, there is still quite a lot of attention put onto that position. Looks like they might be thinking of making a play here to try to retake this position and gain some information in the process. Olofmeister making life very annoying. Again, if Gambit were to try to go for this triple-pronged attack onto the A site, to play aggressively like Olofmeister just did, putting a forward smoke down there, really slows Gambit down and delays their timing because they want to come in with everybody at once. And Olofmeister sat here holding them off, but we've got Hobbit there making a kill towards Inner. That should go a long way here, and it's going to cue another play coming in as Flush is able to defend there. Very important for Fnatic, but again, 25 seconds left, and the bomb needs to make its way to that A site.
Bomb around E-Box, and Fnatic have read that it's going to be an A play. Crims is around with JW as well. 2 kills for JW, bomb is on the floor. Caught with his knife out, but the time is with Fnatic. 3 versus 1 now, as Zeus wonders what could have been in this round. Trying to escape, he won't be allowed to. Another kill, 3 kills for JW. And that's a good start for Fnatic. JW is rotating everywhere. He's played in 5 rounds. He's been in Connector, he's been over towards B, and rotated towards the Ivy position, and then back on the bomb train. JW is all over the place, and that's going to be hard for Gambit to deal with.
And the one thing that could be worrying for Gambit now is whether Fnatic are able to essentially get in their heads and read what kind of pace they're going to run. Because we just saw a bunch of slow rounds that really did not work out for Gambit. So Fnatic have to be expecting fast play now because Gambit have to change something. So I wouldn't be too surprised if Fnatic do alter their setup to account for that. But of course here they understand that Gambit can't have too much but Pistols, but maybe Pistols is all that's required. Adren with a great shot there. That's Flusher dead, but how much more can they really get out of this?
The numbers game towards the B bomb site. Flashbangs will force Dennis from his position, and the bomb's going to go down. Adren with another kill. He's the only person, though, with a really strong gun at the moment. There is a P15 play, but Adren with the deagle has to do more. Hobbit, Dozier taken down. No rifles for Gambit to collect. All their kills have been long range, and Fnatic will return in kind with the long range kills, leaving Mo alone, looking for a flank, but Olof might have a read on it. The Glock was never going to get done much done in that situation. Fnatic prevail. Some flashy kills, but the round goes the way of the Swedes.
And the crazy thing is the amount of damage they did. Again, you know, the 2 kills to the Deagle, that's actually, if you consider the investment, like you said, there was only 1 good weapon actually as far as the pistols were concerned, and they got 2 kills on the bomb plant. That's actually an insanely good result for Gambit. And now the score is all tied up, 3 to Gambit, 3 to Fnatic. And we get the buy in once again. We've got Mo on the AWP. Now, this is the interesting situation. Will we see Gambit change the pace? Will they go for a very fast play? That is what I'll be looking for here in this round. We've got double off for Fnatic, mixing things up there, Mo. Unable to find a quick pick there from the team main area.
Interestingly, Gambit were looking out for a potential second AWP in a previous round, when they lost one of their own, and now the nasty surprise is here. There are flashbangs for this position. JW, I think he gets a kill there 9 times out of 10, but not on this occasion. Dennis is going to be a nasty surprise. Saw Dozier drawing his gun very late. Free kill for the Swedes.
Yeah, and you can see Gambit are trying to go fast into B, but then that forward frag from Dennis really creates a horrible situation because now they have to adapt. They can't just force the play. Now that Fnatic have the information, they've got that first pick, they've got the rotation in. So it's back to the drawing board in this round for Gambit, and not only are they back to the drawing board, they're doing so with 1 player less. So it's going to be very tough for them to get in here, and they don't have a huge amount of grenades either, so this will be quite the struggle for Gambit. And Fnatic with those double orbs, it's very scary.
Olofmeister has gone for his second push through Ivy of the round. This time it will yield a kill onto Mo. Gambit are looking very disorganized at the moment. They don't seem to know what they want to do. So they've had 1 issue, and now they're in a really nasty situation where they've got no map control, and they're trying to re-establish it. And now the bomb is on its own with 30 seconds remaining. 2 players towards the B bomb site. They don't have the personnel to fake in this situation. So JW and Dennis will duel with them on the B bomb site. Dennis taken down, but JW finally getting the close range kill towards B.
A great little play. They're getting out of harm's way with the flashbang. JW still causing huge problems there on the bomb train. Crims will pick up the kill onto Adrena Zeus now. There's nothing really much he can do with 10 seconds left and an AWP and no friends to play off of. So again, just as you say, you know, Gambit, they kept trying to make plays here, and Fnatic with their aggressions have been so well timed, able to just, you know, be in the heads of Gambit, just get the right player in the right position, get that bit of information, get that pick off. Has to completely change the round for Gambit. Fnatic reading it really well, understand where to take the next aggression.
It seems like a false start for Gambit.
Yes, absolutely. It's their initial approach is not panning out so well at all.
Ignoring the pistol, it's 4-0 to Fnatic.
Oh, surely
at the
not.
moment in the business part. What do you see, Dan? What's going on?
Do we have 3 orbs? We have 3 orbs on Fnatic, James. The triple orb special.
It is Train. Train must be the most viable map in the map pool at the moment to have 3 orbs on. That is quite the change. So Gambit, they don't have the money. This is the buy between the buys for Gambit. And they're heading towards maximum loss bonus. Zeus dying after time has got nothing in the bank, but the point is, Gambit have enough to cause problems to Fnatic. They've got smoke grenades as well. If they get into close quarters, then those 2 M4s are going to have a lot of work to do. These kind of rounds can really fall apart for a team with more than 2 sniper rifles on their side, but most of the time does work out. We'll see how it works on this occasion. It seems it will be the execute into the A site. We saw Cloud9 have some nice counters to this play we'll see if Fnatic have picked that up, or if they've got other ideas.
And they should be expecting this as well. And you can see JW's got a great angle here. You can look over the smoke. That flashbang was perfect there. Able to cover the approach from Adren, but perhaps not good enough. JW still on top of things. But the bomb will make its way quickly towards B. A very cheeky fake coming in here from the Gambit side, and it's worked. It's given them a plant, but Dennis needs to be on his mark as well with the AWP. JW indeed will be falling victim to the close range of that Tech 9 from Hobbit as he starts to push the issue around the train. Another frag all of a sudden. Oh my goodness, Hobbit with 3. And there's problems now here for Fnatic. A 2 versus 2 as suddenly we get Crims answering back, but Dozier, he's had so much time to position here. Will Fnatic read this?
Olofmeister has 1 HP. Dozier, there's opportunity for him. They could go for a smoke defuse attempt. There's tons of utility here for Fnatic. And it's Olofmeister with 1 HP to try and defuse the bomb. It's not going to work out. Is there time for Crims? It's going to be a close one, Dan. It's going to be a close one, but I think they just might do it.
Oh my God,
You heard
James.
the beat there. You heard the beat. And, you know, before the round started, we spoke about how you can have problems with three AWPs, but I don't think that was necessarily the issue. Fnatic had a full 5-man rotation into A. 2 Gambit players made it into B with no one there to defend it whatsoever. There was no one there.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's so funny because Fnatic, who have so far been predicting Gambit, I think, quite well. I think, as you say, James, they were absolutely convinced it was going to be just an A commitment. So such a smart timing for a fake there from Gambit. Perhaps that can bounce them back into this one, as you pointed out, it's Fnatic with all the momentum until that round. So it could be quite the turning point here. We have Gambit just taking some early map control, but being fairly passive, perhaps afraid that Fnatic might decide now to throw in a spanner to the works and get some aggression going on early. But Fnatic still playing quite passively overall, and their aggressions on the CT side have been very measured.
That round has annihilated the money of the CT side. Gambit, opportunity knocks for them, but the first task for the Gambit side is to do something before there are 30 seconds remaining, and that hasn't been happening in these rounds. There's been a lot of waiting around, and then, yes, you will wait for the CT utility to be used. But look at this, there's a minute on the clock. There are 3 smokes here for the CT side. JW doesn't get an engagement on that occasion, but Crims definitely will do. Around the pop dog, 2-man spray down for him, looking for the third. He's seen the bomb though, and indeed it's going to be another full rotation from Fnatic. Olofmeister for 2k with the AWP. Only Dozier remains, not enough damage done by Gambit.
Awesome defense there from Fnatic. And one thing that's also really amazing from Gambit is these flashes of theirs. They have obviously drilled the hell out of these offensives, because we saw JW there. He's got an aggressive deep angle. Looks like it's going to catch somebody off guard. That's the whole point of it. But there's a flashbang for that. Gambit very well prepared here. But again, that's the danger of a team like Fnatic. These guys are just individually absolute monsters, and that's what Gambit are going to have to try to deal with. They're going to have to slay the monsters of Fnatic.
It almost feels like Gambit are trying to avoid playing the style of game that Fnatic want to play, but they're just not getting enough done. And it seems that Fnatic know Gambit want to play a slow game, so they're just holding on to the utility that you would normally see disappear when you play a slow round. So that's not necessarily working out for Gambit. Max loss bonus, the AWPs and rifles will be on their way, regardless of the outcome of this round for the T side, but see if they can do some more damage. This time, Fnatic are holding steadfast with 2 players in the B bomb site. Mo makes it into no man's land and gets taken down in isolation. Olofmeister's got problems now. Players to the front of him, players to the back, and now the kills are coming in for Gambit.
They've done a great job here taking over the bomb train, but there's still a few players left here to fight back. Dennis coming in from Connector now with the AK-47, able to win the battle against Dozier. Still 3 remain though, and Zeus does have an AWP, so there's certainly a lot to be up against here for Fnatic as they take their time and they try to coordinate themselves in together as 3, as Adren also waits for the perfect timing, able to support Zeus, who has that AWP. Adren with the peeking there, trying to buy time. Hobbit once again with a Tech 9, and it's just going to be 1 player left here for the Swedish side. It's Flusher. Can he make this happen? Going for the hold. Hobbit says no. And that's the round there from Gambit. I mean, it seems like they don't need rifles, James. Just give them some Tech 9s and a couple of smokes, and they're good to go.
Fnatic finding it hard to deal with the pistols, but you saw Fnatic made adjustments when they over-rotated in a previous round, so They are staying sharp, the Swedes, despite losing that round. Very patient play from Hobbit, concentrating on the headshot in that duel. You could see a lot of people go crazy and maybe grab their mouse too hard, but the focus was there from Gambit. They're back to winning ways. 3 snipers on the map. Crims with the MP9, and that would tell me aggression, and indeed he's making his way inside the pop dog position. Definitely want to be up close with a weapon such as that. Fast fire rate, but it does fire potatoes.
It's like Fnatic have all the players in the right positions here, and of course part of the reason is due to the aggression that Olofmeister has taken towards Ali. He's got that information, and great position there from Dennis. Can fall back. Does that commit Gambit though? Are they going to go in with this after losing a man early on? It looks like they're going to go for it. JW up close, going to whip the first shot there as Dennis is in still a great position. And he's got JW to provide distraction for him, but it's not going to be good enough. Gambit with the entry frags here. Now it's Crusher who's the closest man, as well as Crims coming into the flank here with that MP9. Zeus though holding him at arm's length with a Tech 9, but not for too much longer. But still, 3 players left here for Gambit on the bomb site at the moment to try to defend. And here goes Olaf with that AWP, sneaky plays over the train. Nice flick shot there from him, but Dozier with a fast response.
Crosshair was in the right place, but not quite hitting the mark. Crims, he's been beasting so far. He's got 14 kills in these 10 rounds. He doesn't have a kit though. The double peek is absolutely perfect from Gambit. Talk about communication. Really nice stuff from them. A second round. What does this do to the cash of Fnatic? Well, it is in the toilet. It is down the pan. $2,000 per person. Do Gambit have a good read of the money? Again, in the scoreboard, the players can see how many CTs they killed in each round, and that will help them determine what round to expect from Fnatic. Almost nothing bought by the Swedes just yet. Crims with a P250, and that is literally it as they leave CT spawn.
And it's so cool as well to see, you know, Crims having good performances and so on in Fnatic again. I think everybody on the team is sort of finding themselves, and they've refound their identities. And I mean, he was always known for being one of the most efficient players and one of the best anchors in the business. And we've already seen his ability when faced with multiple opponents at once. Very capable. His pistol slowly diminishing at the moment for Fnatic. A nice little flick shot there from Mo. Also, a bit of penetration damage will be finished off by Adrenans. This affair will soon come to a close, I think, as Gambits diligently, methodically make their way to round number 6, although it's a bit annoying there for Mo. But there it is, 6-6.
Yeah, minimal damage done, AWP saved. They will be absolutely happy with that. Finally, it seems that we will get a close train after a bumpy start for Gambit. The score is tied. No snipers on the Fnatic, and I do wonder if we'll start to see a more aggressive Fnatic now in this shape. Maybe they'll feel like the devil on their shoulder is pushing them forward, pushing them through Ivy again. I do wonder what role JW will have in a round like this. Now he's over to his Ivy position, but Olofmeister going straight through Ivy immediately. They seem to have a good read that Gambit just abandon this position often. I mean, Fnatic, they've had some good reads on Gambit, like Fnatic in that previous buy round they lost. They had the numbers in the B-bomb side, weren't successful, but they did make the right play.
And now it seems to be time for Gambit to make the move in towards B at the moment. But I do wonder if they'll have anything sneaky up their sleeves, whether they'll try to double back or just commit into it. Looks like there's going to be a committed play here with the smoke. Dennis with a quick play with that flashbang going straight forwards. Almost gets 2 there, but denied by Mo ultimately now as we get 3 players left for Gambit. They've got to plant the bomb here. Zeus claiming ground, forward ground there. 2 frags from him. That's massive work, but Olaf's still alive and stalking through the smoke. It's Adren though. So smart is Adren. He knows what's up. That's Olofmeister done. And Crims has got nothing really left to do but to turn tail and run. He's got such low hit points at the moment, 23.
It's a 1 versus 2. He's got to go for this. The bomb's only just gone down as well. Surely someone has dropped one, but it's not going to work out for him. Gambit take the lead. I think Crims just wanted to reset the situation. He was spotted, he was exposed on the high ground. He had bullets, grenades, shrapnel flying his way. But no, that is the 4th round in a row for Gambit, and it's a tactical timeout from Fnatic. Their momentum has suddenly gone. The swing is broken, and they'll try to fix it in these 30 seconds. Great bursting by Zeus. Lovely second kill from him as well. Adren staying close to the smoke again. When a T side chooses to push through B, one really good thing to watch is the T player who goes near connector, what he chooses to do. Some will try and make a play into connector, some will try and make it beyond towards the CT side of the train yard, and some will just stay around that smoke or on the slope if there isn't a smoke there. Adren chose to stay around the smoke, so he would have an advantage if a CT went through it, got a free headshot, saw the last player as well, pretty much won the round for his team from that point, unless Crims has a nice 1v2 clutch, but it wasn't to be. Fnatic on the pistols, it's their turn to head towards maximum loss bonus. Adren with the AWP rather than Moat, that's curious. Maybe spawn-based, indeed it is. He's going to swap around now and everything goes back to normal.
But we know the pistols are very dangerous in the hands of the Swedes. Dozier looking for this though. Really nice stuff there, very cognizant as Dozier now looks for perhaps a trade fragger to come into play. A nice smoke in this position and trying to open up Ali. Wow, with the CZ spraying through the smoke. Fasha, of course, getting the kill. Lovely stuff. And now Zeus doesn't have anyone to play off of here, so he's got two angles to be worried about because they could always just push the smoke. So you have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, it's awkward for Zeus. He can hold this angle and be relatively safe, but there's an AK on the floor around the corner. He doesn't want them to collect it, but now he's got no choice. And you can see he just dives around the corner as fast as he can, does his best. Three frags in 1 second. Crims making it a fourth. JW got a quick 2, but who knows what the hell just happened. It did seem a bit scrappy the way their approach to Ivy. I mean, maybe they thought they were just USPs or something, but it did seem a bit scrappy from Gambit.
Yeah, I mean, Gambit just tried to go through Pop Dog and teammate at the same time, and just look at this. Oh man, just coming in from above there, dropping down from the top of the train. That is some good timing, if ever I've seen it, from JW, and that is certainly a bit disappointing with Gambit, but they have 7 rounds on the board still, so really competitive game of train at the moment between these two teams, and we see once again the double AWPs come into fashion here for Fnatic as JW and Olofmeister hold on to those, and Olofmeister, he's been playing, making so many plays by himself at Ali, and this round is no different. Look at all the info he's got.
It's almost like it's CT territory. It's familiar to him, like an old friend. Smokes, grenades all over. This is Bedlam. Ivy was left exposed for the most part, but Flush is the one to get the 2K rather than Olofmeister, who's playing in the IB position. Many Fnatic players around the train. It seems perhaps Gambit have lost their momentum in the last round of the first half.
I think Gambit are trying to play off a distraction from Hobbit there, dropping down Pop Dog, but that smoke slowed them down a bit too much. It makes life difficult as Fnatic aren't going to be caught off guard. They're ready now. It was a nice play from Gambit, but indeed that smoke at Pop Dog ruins all the plans of Gambit there, and Fnatic looking very, very good here for the 8th round. Close out this half. Nice frag there from Hobbit though at range, trying to go for the taps. Another one from Hobbit. He's not down and out just yet. He's got 16 points of health though, so it's going to be hard for him to win some of these engagements, and JW's in a devious position here. Close range, just the single bullet required. 8 rounds for Fnatic, 7 for Gambit. But if you look at how this started, I thought maybe Fnatic would start to run away with things, but Gambit, man, they're showing a lot of temerity at the moment.
Yeah, this it's good. It's a close. I mean, Gambit could have gone in with a lead had not been for that half buy round from Fnatic. But here we are, all to play for. Fnatic off to the T side, and you can see that JW has been one of the heavy hitters in the first half, along with Crims. Crims up there with 16, leading the server at the moment. There's a good average of kills on Gambit, but they don't want to be average in this half versus Fnatic now, who will be able to set the pace. And they'll be playing with confidence, Fnatic. The amount of times they were able to trespass into what is normally T territory in the first half will only boost their confidence moving into the second pistol round. Crims and Flusher with grenades. Zeus will be carrying the smoke and defuse kit. Everybody else on Kevlar.
Yeah, I love all these grenades from Fnatic. You wouldn't often see it like in an online match or something, but here they obviously have quite the plan, using those grenades to give them ample coverage to at least secure a bomb plant, but some kills will be lovely as well. Nice tag there coming in. Mo desperately weak, and the bomb will go down. Fnatic with a very strong opener, but it's a pistol round, and it can all change in the blink of an eye as we see still 5 players standing for Gambit.
Mo and Dozier trying to double pick, but Mo gets taken down. But Dozier will avenge the kills, and now it's down to JW. Smoke and defuse comes in. He is not making it there in time, and I think he realizes it. Wax on, wax off. Can save his Kevlar, try and get some extra money. He'll do exactly that. Picks up another pistol as well, but the pistol does go to Gambit. That's a huge round for the CT side.
Yeah, that means 2 pistol rounds won by Gambit, so definitely a struggle in that sense for Fnatic. Now, how will Gambit approach their CT side? We saw Fnatic were really, really passive, allowing Gambit on their T side to sort of just play the field and then react. Gambit might have a similar approach in mind. Of course, we have the full save here for Fnatic. They want the AK-47s in the following round. So this should be quite an easy one here for Gambit. Zeus starting things off well. Quick 2K for him, making some money with that SMG. Hobbit will continue the trend as well, and it's almost all over, and we can get into the real business here when the AKs come into play.
Mr. Stock Knife Flusher. It's been spotted, and surely it's a matter of time. Cheeky grenade, but the god Dozier finished things off with the UMP. Nice money bonus for him. Most of the Gambit side went for rifles, including the scouts, onto Mo, and those rifles continue. So it seems Mo will keep the scout in his hands. Should the worst happen for Gambit, he can buy with his team in the next round. 5 AKs from Fnatic, reasonable amount of grenades. So let's see just how aggressive they can get.
Yeah, you'd normally expect it with those AKs. It's always a comfortable round when you get them into those open spaces of the AE yard. But we've got some forward positions here to try to maximize the effectiveness of these SMGs from Zeus. He's making a lot of noise. They're jumping around, running around as well. Perhaps trying to bait a peek and then tosses the nade up. A nice idea from Zeus. However, it's not going to really yield all that much for him just yet. And Fnatic starting to wander down towards the B side of the map with Olofmeister just pressuring towards Ali, and that's really important because it makes it very hard for Gambit to read what this round's going to be. But here it is, the entry from Fnatic into the B site. Adren will be able to get the first kill, but the quick trades make life quite difficult for Gambit.
Dozier repositioning, but he can't get anything done in that situation. Some advantages with the CT. So Molotov will try to force Crims out into the open, but the smoke is there. He can hold his position. Flusher getting taken down. T still on the high ground. There's a flank coming in from Olofmeister, and he better move quick because Dennis is alone on the site. No Molotov or any other shenanigans, and there are smokes for Gambit. 2 of the 3 players with kits, they could go for a hero defuse. They're looking for the flank, and Olofmeister's finally there. Dennis now on the high ground. He's got a good angle, but he's expecting a peek. There's Hobbit taken down. Going for a spray transfer, but Zeus was off of it. Gets back on it. 2 players surviving for Gambit. They prevail, making it to double figures.
And the really sick thing here as well is we can't forget that Gambit actually tried to continue with their SMGs and the scout and so on, and they still won the round. They picked up 2 AKs, so they have made a huge amount of money. They're really making the most of that, winning that initial pistol round. So this really puts a lot of pressure on Fnatic. Fnatic have to start controlling Gambit's economy, because if it starts to get out of control, Fnatic are going to have a hard time just being up against what will seem like endless buy rounds. And this was the way that Gambit turned things around. The Tech 9s and the grenades. Let's see if it works as well for Fnatic.
JW is only 22 years old. The man has his own shop, and he's 22 years old. What the hell's going on? Fnatic moving through the IV position. Hobbit needs to back off. He can have a crossfire with his teammates, but he's still staying close. Gets shot straight in the head, and so does Zeus. The same problems that Fnatic had, Gambit are having those as well. They are getting absolutely waxed out. Olofmeister with a 2K so far, picked up an AK. What has happened to Gambit in this round?
And Dozier just has to get damage in here. He can't allow Fnatic to take away too many weapons. And there's an AWP. Oh, the timing. Dozier, though, coming back into the angle at the right time. However, it's just going to be 1 frag for him. And we can see Olofmeister picks up the AWP. We've got AKs collected as well, M4. So Fnatic, that's exactly what they had to do. But Gambit, they're going all in, James. All the chips are going across the line. We got double AWPs from Mo and Adren.
Zeus had $10,000 at the start of that round, so he is dropping some cash for his team. What a great spray from Olofmeister. That is sexy stuff. Keeps it close. You see Mo, Hobbit, he's been feeling the emotions, man. Zeus has forced him to engage in a bro fist. That's a nice shot from Fnatic. Can you imagine if that was a kill? what it would do to the psyche of Gambit. They need to keep their heads in the game, this CT side. Again, Zeus as the in-game leader and also the captain, trying to keep his team focused, but you can see they are hurting a bit.
Everything slows down now as Fnatic start to take more position. They get Olofmeister back towards Ali. And again, that's so key, just always keeping pressure towards Ali, because again, it's so hard for Gambit to know, is it going to be that triple-pronged attack into A? They put pressure around T-Main and Pop Dog as well at points. Is it going to be the plan to beat? It just becomes so hard, and it's all because of Olofmeister and how he can stay alive, keep pressure up, keep himself in good timings on rotations. But it looks like Fnatic indeed will make their way in towards the A site, and Olof, he's got some help arriving behind him soon, but he's not too afraid to take these duels ahead of his teammates. He looks for the peek. Not quite good enough there. Zeus with a nice wide peek there to avoid Olofmeister. Great repeat there from Zeus. Brave stuff, but it pays off.
Those who are looking to flank from the B bomb site, can he get a pop in time? The bomb's heading towards the main position. Dennis tagged, making his way into the site, but there are no kills just yet for this T side. There's Dennis getting taken down. Things go from bad to worse. Grenades flying in, but JW's been given a present. What can he do with it? There are 20 seconds for them to make a gauntlet run to that bomb site, and they're not getting anywhere yet. Hobbit taken down finally, but all the CTs are here. They've got a crossfire on the bomb site. The bomb can surely not go down. Dozier in the pop dog, lovely close range from JW, but there are 8 seconds for this plant to happen. The pistol for Adren, and that's going to be the round over. 2 versus 1. JW needs to get away. 3 HP. He will be hunted by Dozier with that pistol, doing his best to hide, and he's somehow going to escape. But the round is with Gambit. Some nice parkour from JW towards the end there.
Yeah, he was on the run, man. That's crazy stuff there from him. The Hunger Games business on the survival is JW, but that no-scope, what on earth was that? I guess it's just JW, classic JW things, isn't it? That's what it is.
Standard stuff for a high-pressure AWPer. Thrives in those situations, and we'll see which team will thrive in this one, because it's going to be a rough buy for both sides. All the UMPs coming out. JW and Olofmeister towards Ivy, and let's look at Hobbit's position. He'll get some sound cues from this, but I can't see a flash push coming in. Mo is close to him, but he's got main to focus on, and so does Zeus. CT's still positioning around the map at the moment. Zeus with the FAMAS. If he has to duel towards the main position, that's going to be less than ideal. Fnatic will search for a pick with this boost. Zeus will hear it. Surely he could take a grenade from a teammate now. He's very exposed.
Yeah, here goes the peak. Zeus gonna lose out on that one. Dennis opening things up here, and now Gambit, they've got to be worried because Fnatic are ready to come in from Ali as well very shortly. And with that man advantage that they have, Gambit going to have to make some plays, and it's, of course, Adren to try to make the play, but Dennis shuts him down as well. That's 2 for Dennis in this round. Is there salvation is somewhere in these 3 remaining players for Gambit as time starts to get lower, and Fnatic, of course, will begin to make their way back in.
Olaf and JW continue to creep towards Ivy. Fnatic careful of main, don't quite have possession of it just yet. Some warning shots from both teams around the Ivy position, and the clock continues to tick. Hobbit very exposed. Mo, it's his turn to get the no-scope, and JW's down as well. Crimso, he's still got the bomb, dropped off, leaving Flusher alone in a 1 versus 2. 18 seconds, they don't need to show. Dozier repositioning, his teammate will be the bait. Flusher's high, he's exposed, jumping onto the low ground, he's got to run to the side, and he'll get taken down from the back by Dozier. That was really worrisome for Gambit. If you look at when Zeus went for the dry peek, he hears jumping. He knows at least one person is in Pop Dog. Mo is on the bomb train. He's got the one flashbang that the 3 of him, I think Adren was there as well. He could flash for Zeus, but with the AWP, he's holding the angle on main. So it seems they chose to sacrifice Zeus rather than him come off the angle and throw the flashbang. Really tight stuff for Fnatic, but they come out on the losing end again.
That was epic stuff from Mo. Oh my God, the guy is performing under pressure right there, and I love that. Even in that super high octane situation, gets to 3K. The last player he realizes, I don't have to take the duel here. I'm not supposed to take the duel here. I can play with my teammate. And to be able to do that after making such a quick series of kills really shows Mo's experience and why he has made it with his team onto this stage. Right now, he's making the stage look pretty good, James. It's a 12-9 scoreline for Gambit, and that round is going to give them a lot of momentum because the money indeed is pretty poor for Fnatic at the moment.
Yeah, Mo looks pretty level-headed at the moment. Hobbit, though, you can see he's feeling the pressure, but it's not affecting him in the game. He's got 19 kills. He is leading the charge. This time, Fnatic are on the pistols, but they've got no Kevlar. They don't really have that many dangerous guns. Olaf with the Deagle, and he's got full armor with his Deagle. He can take the odd shots. Sometimes it does make the difference, but he'll be looking to do some damage to the CT economy, but he'll be the bait. JW will get the job done for 1 kill at the very least. But in a 4 versus 2 Glocks, we cannot expect much more. Adren going fishing, but he's using missiles as bait in this situation.
13 for Gambit. They're pretty close now for map number 1. It's going to be interesting to see what Fnatic choose to do here to try to break Gambit, because if Gambit pick up this round, Fnatic are back into eco territory. It's going to be really difficult. Of course, they will have a $2,900 for their round loss bonus, so if Fnatic do get a bomb down in this round, even if they lose it, they can still try to force together a buy in the following round, which will feature AKs and so on, but that's not ideal. They really need to stop Gambit right now. This is such a key round for Fnatic to win, and so that means their decision as to how they approach it couldn't be more crucial. And looks like there's aggression from Gambit. They've got a quick pick there. Mo, where's he going to be? Looks like it's going to be Inner this time, and that's Krims sent to the bench for this one.
Mo doing the same that JW was trying to in the first half. Gambit have a third player towards B in Adren if needed, but now he's going back and forth to connector, so perhaps the Gambit have a good read on what the remainder of Fnatic will do. The flash is there, Doge being very cheeky, maybe expendable, looking for info with the UMP. Hobbit and Zeus will stay towards A for the time being, but surely the rotation will come in from Zeus. Adren's got to be very careful. He's going straight into the grenade, but he will survive for now. Mo with the pick onto Flusher. Mo delivering even more kills for his side. 3K for Mo so far, and Olaf Meister remains. Not going to expect Zeus in the same position, and Adren will finish off the job. 14-9 Gambit. No plan for Fnatic.
I mean, we said it, that was the round that Fnatic had to win to stop this scary momentum for Gambit, but they seem to be getting stronger every round at the moment and looking very confident. Fnatic having to go, actually looking like they're going for a force buy here anyway, despite not getting the bomb down. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Keep Gambit off of match point, give yourself 2 chances instead of just having 1. Tech9's, AK Galil. Grenades, that's what Fnatic are going to try to win this round with. It doesn't look good. Let's see what they got.
Dozier. What are you doing, Dozier? You're not supposed to be in this position. There are 4 people on the A site, and he's going to get dinked by his teammate. That's going to give his position away to the team. What the hell's going on? That is so unlucky for him. That's crazy. And that might cause a rotation from Fnatic. Talk about a stroke of luck,
that is absolutely ridiculous indeed. They've been handed something here, but how far can they take it? Because they still have to get into a bomb site. They haven't really got much map control. They haven't attacked any choke points just yet. They don't have weapons that can really perform at range, except Dennis, who's critically low at this point on health. It's still going to be very difficult here for Fnatic. Hobbit looking to find himself a quick kill here in the main. This would be a really big one to find. And Krims goes down. Now it's just about the 3 players there from Fnatic making their way towards B. It's all on their shoulders.
It's retake territory. Oh, Adren, please. A clutch kick with 100 ping, but only good for the 1 kill this time. Flusher is close to the red. JW is with him. Flusher on the low ground, trying to move forward. He'll have Zeus to contend with soon. No grenades left for this Fnatic side. It's all about dueling. Flusher and Hobbit coming through these trains. Flusher though, running distraction now, but Mo will pick him off, and it's JW. He is the last man standing. The Molotov will force him forward. Surely he might get 1 kill here. Hobbit's only got 4 HP. He's defusing without the kit. Mo with the AWP. It should be the other way around. But Hobbit's got 4 HP. Which one defuses? At least the kit's there. But Mo, he's got to deliver here. He's got his pistol out. It is so awkward for him. Is he defusing it? I don't think so. Oh my god, it's too late now. What a way to lose a round. Shooting your teammate in the head through a wall, giving his position away. Everything falls apart. Surely that was Gambit. That has got to be the worst luck.
That is crazy. You wonder if there's maybe like a communication. I mean, it must be a communication problem there. Doge is making the push, and they're shooting his position. So definitely seemes like perhaps, 1, maybe Doge just decided it's like, I'm going to do this play, and maybe didn't communicate it. It's hard to say what it might be, but that, as you say, it could be the one chance that could get Fnatic back into the game. Now they actually have guns, they've got grenades, they're looking for perhaps a fast round straight into the A-bomb site. Olofmeister in typical Olofmeister fashion going straight in, but it's Adren with the first kill to the round as Dennis will fall, and Olofmeister pushes the position, but he gets stopped by Hobbit. Still more work to be done though by Fnatic, as Flusher and JW answer back. A 3v3, and the bomb still needs to go down though.
Get that boost on CTs. 2 AWPs, only so much you can do with so many smokes out on the map. Everything starting to slow down. Fnatic taking it slow, trying to identify where the CTs might be, trying to get their communication game on with some more seconds to take pause. Angles so close. Mo being teased by Flush, but Flush not engaging the angle. The bomb needs to be collected. JW is going for the flank towards the IV position, and that's exactly where Mo is standing. If he stops scoping, Crims must know he's there. Crims is just around the corner. They've got the time to make this play. Fnatic being very, very careful. If they win this round, they break the money of their opponent. If they lose this round, it is game points Fnatic.
No.
He sees the barrel, and there goes Mo. It's Adren with the AWP behind the smoke. He might walk through it for free if he's brave enough. JW playing close to the smoke as well, and it might be a no-scope from him. Fnatic on the comeback. If Gambit go on to lose this map, then surely they just go back to that headshot thing. I mean, oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy.
So a chance rears its head here for Fnatic. Gambit humbled perhaps now that they have no money again, and all that momentum sort of goes away. I have to say I've been really impressed with Mo's performance so far. He looks really dangerous at the moment, an assassin with that AWP. And now this should be a pretty calm and easy round for Fnatic. On paper, there's only really a P250 and 4 stock USPs for Fnatic to worry about. So you can see Olofmeister, he realizes that he's got the Mac 10 out. It's a tool fit for purpose in this round. JW able to get another frag as well. So just systematic cleanup of these saving players. Fnatic bullying Gambit in this round, but now Gambit can buy again. It's not the best money in the world, but it is enough.
Yeah, they can buy now, and if they lose, they can buy at 14-14. Gambit with 2 chances to stop Fnatic getting to game point. Fnatic 2 rounds behind. It's a Gambit tactical timeout at present. Mo's on the AWP again. There may be a lack of grenades in this round. There'll definitely be a lack of helmets. So, does this, with a pause like this, I do wonder if Fnatic will play it slow, expecting a push. I mean, we've seen some insane pushes from Dozier when he's been ill-equipped, and he's ill-equipped once again with a UMP. So they may look for that. They may put 2 or 3 people towards the B bomb site so they can trade if necessary. What will the play of Gambit be? Mo's been everywhere with his AWP. It seems he's headed towards the IV position. Can post up towards main from there as well. So let's see what Gambit have in store for Fnatic.
Fnatic making their way towards Ali at the moment, so will Mo go for the peaks? Of course, there's all kinds of shenanigans. Oh, that is so fast from Mo! And that means so much as well. Hobbits, he's got some action too. Teammate's gonna handle that one nicely as Dennis gets shut down, and 20 seconds have passed in the round, and 2 members for Fnatic trying to go for picks. It has blown up in their faces, and now they simply have to combine their forces and go together somewhere. That's pretty much all they can do at this point. They can't risk losing another member to a 1 versus 1. They need to get a situation where the bomb can be planted and where they can trade frags.
Mo with no Kevlar. I wonder if he'll end up swapping places with Adren. Adren's holding the high ground, but he doesn't have a scope, so that's going to make life more difficult for him. He has a look just in case they're creeping down the stairs, and you see him dropping a smoke. That may be a good timing, and Fnatic are going to force the issue moving through. Nobody checking Dozier's position just yet, but surely they will, surely they will. No kill for Dozier with his UMP. The bomb's going to go down, the CT's on the retake. That's a good start from Adren. Olofmeister and Crims remain. Hobbit's coming in from the flank, but he doesn't have the angle. They're making it work for Fnatic, but they're both tagged. 4 of these 5 remaining players are all very close to dying. And there goes Crims, leaving Olofmeister up on the high ground on his own. He won't get it done. It's game point Gambit in the first map of this best of 3.
What a relief for Gambit, not finding themselves in that position where, you know, there's that one mistake and maybe it gets into their heads, maybe it, you know, compounds the problem and things get worse. But again, composed, experienced players, good leadership. And they are playing their hearts out right now. Just one more round and the double AWPs certainly pose problems for Fnatic. And Fnatic, well, you know, they're going to fight fire with fire. They've got 2 AWPs of their own, JW and Dennis picking them up. So looks like Fnatic are going to double down on the picking approach. Let's see how that goes for them. Because so far, again, Mo and Dren have been fantastic.
4 AWPs. Oh! Dennis taking gambles there, but we'll come back to that later because there is a 4-man engagement towards the IV position, and the advantages will go straight back in favor of Fnatic. 1 minute 35 on the clock, and there are 3 CTs here. They are on the verge of being reset. That would be a complete disaster for them.
What on earth is happening there, the AWP battles? You can see why both teams are buying all those AWPs, and Olofmeister now looking to try and make things worse. But it's Zeus who wins such an important 1 versus 1, and this is what we talk about when we talk about Fnatic. They really love to take these 1v1s, and it can really send things spiraling out of control for your defense. But Gambit standing up strong so far against the oppressive side that is Fnatic, and the bomb can be planted. And Dozier's position is very good at the moment with a silenced M4. Perhaps he can get the drop on somebody. It might just be Flusher. He's creeping below him. Does Dozier look around? This is such an important moment. Flusher now spraying onto Dozier's teammates. Dozier turns around, gets the kill in the trade, but that opens him up to Crims. The worst has happened now. Leaves it all to a Dren in a 1 versus 2.
They've got the high ground, the T's. They've got the high ground, and Adren may not fancy this one. How does he not get traded? You'll hear the bullets whizzing past his ears. And Fnatic have stayed alive. 13 rounds coming their way, and the money's not spectacular for Gambit, so they are in a very awkward spot. But going back to that first frag in the rounds, the CTs always get to connector to look towards main before the T's get to main to look towards connector. It is not an advantageous peak for the T's. It is a gamble that didn't pay off for Dennis on that occasion. Maybe expecting Mo to be around the IV position of the AWP, but Adren was at connector with a sniper of his own, and that's a sniper that remains in this round. 13-15, Gambit, they can't really buy. It would be a massive gamble for the side. The money next round would be great either, so Adren, I mean, because it's an AWP, you could go give it to Mo with no Kevlar, but he will stay with it and do what he can.
Adren's going into a poor position with that AWP. That's very scary stuff, isn't it? The push comes in from Fnatic, and oh wow, Zeus! He prevents the bomb from going down. Adren has been lost though. Nice transfer there from Olofmeister, and there was some shenanigans at play, but Fnatic have diffused them in more ways than one, and we'll see themselves brought onto the 14th round. And are they actually going to do this? Are we going to get the first map of the day here in the playoffs be overtime?
Would you have it any other way?
No. I would not, James. Let's bring it on.
Second last timeout for Gambit. And they're going to have to drastically change their approach in this round. Adren has gone from an AWP to a Mag 7. Quite opposite ranges on those weapons, so one would expect him to go towards the ladder position. Or maybe even a play towards main with a flashbang, but there are almost no grenades on this CT side. It's a very desperate time for Gambit. Adren's got a good spawn to make it to ladder room as well, to the pop dog. But Fnatic, they are fully equipped. They are ready for this overtime. They will feel like they deserve this overtime. JW close to the 30 bomb, 26 kills at the moment, leading the server.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see if how Gambit could possibly make this work. With this amalgam of guns. Adren. Oh my god, it's Mo. It was Mo. Calm down, everyone. It was Mo with the headshot there, but nice little assist there from Adren with that Mag 7 of his. And Dennis just so brazen. Yep, I'm just going to walk out here. Don't mind me, but Gambit are going to shut that down. And it looks like Fnatic, they might just try to end this here on the B-bomb side. They're all rallying up and readying the charge.
They've had a lot of success there Has not been a spectacular day for Dozier on the B bomb site, but now he's finally got an M4. He can start things off well. Got support from the high ground as well, but that support has gone, doing some damage, but no frags. Mo coming in with a fast 2K. Is this it? JW on his own, 1 versus 3 to keep his team in this first map of this best of 3. The bomb is down on the high ground. He's exposed. He is forced into the open. There are Molotovs to be thrown here by the CT side as well, but they will allow him to collect. Hobbit trying to find a funky angle, can't quite do it. Nobody's close enough to hit the scope. JW will escape with the bomb for now. He has 40 seconds. He's got to guess. Is he better off towards B or better off towards A? There are no eyes on Popdog at the moment, but Adren is making his way there.
Gambit playing this so smart. They understand the timing as well. They understand exactly how JW might move around the map. As we can see, Adren making his way towards teammates. JW going for the double back, and there you go. Gambit make it work. 16-14, one key error, and it could all have been over, but they compose themselves, and they are indeed making that stage look very good here today.
Crisis averted for Gambit. One of the most unusual things I have seen, the headshotting your teammate when he's on the flank through a wall, when he's above 2 Ts, could have been a turning point, could have been psychologically crushing, but no, they turn it around. 16-14, Gambit take the first map of the series. On the pick'ems, Fnatic were 55% favored for this. I personally favor Gambit. I think, are you with Fnatic for this one?
Yeah, I was edging Fnatic, but after seeing this first map and seeing how Mo is playing, because for me, if Mo is actually playing that well with the AWP and he can go toe-to-toe with all of the AWP skill on the other team, that evens it out for me. And now, yeah, we've got a really awesome fight on our hands. I cannot wait to get into Inferno.
It's getting hot in here, man. Jackets got to come off. It's mad hot in here. It's tense on the first map of the first day here in the Tauron Arena. Tauron? Probably Tauron.
I almost said Sauron Arena the other day, and which would be quite interesting. But yes, the Tauron Arena here in Kraków. It's a beautiful arena. The stage is amazing. I couldn't really think of a better place for this event.
And it's time for the thoughts on the first map. Over to Paul.
Yes, good first map. No jacket required here, that's for sure. Back with our panel members, Fiflown and Moses, to break down map number 1. Good performance by Gambit, and as the boys in the commentary booth said, could all have pivoted on a very odd team kill.
Yeah, that's an awkward situation that put them in, didn't it? I mean, this match to me was just kind of crazy in the sense that it was so op heavy. I mean, both of those teams had a lot of success with the AWP, and it felt like part of that was because there was a lot of space given up in some of these bomb sites. There was a lot of map that they could work with on some of these executes. I think like one of the most aggressive stances we saw from Fnatic is when like Crims is pushed up towards E-Box, and he did great in that position on the defense, but the ops just became so critical because there were just so many duels going on at like long range as well.
Yep, going to take a look through the highlights of this first map. Was their map pick, Robin, obviously, and they've got through it, and I guess they've bounced back from the 12-16 defeat that they had on this very map at DreamHack, so they did learn something, they did adjust, and they've come out on top.
And definitely, I mean, that was the worry coming into this, right? When they left Cobblestone open in the map pool, and we were kind of upset that Gambit actually didn't go with that pick, but hey, they won their map. This is a good start for them, and then leading into it, but as Jason was saying, with a lot of op heavy on both sides, and it was actually looking pretty bad in the beginning for Gambit. I mean, they won the pistol, great round by Mo, and then after that, the extremely slow rounds. We were down to like 20 seconds, didn't really pay off. The first 5-6 rounds over to Fnatic after Gambit won the pistol, but then after that, Gambit started abusing the inner bomb side a little bit, started getting the bomb down and crawled their way back in the half.
Yeah, and it's also, I mean, it's got to be crushing if you're JW, because I thought he had a phenomenal game with the AWPs specifically. He was excellent. And I think actually the T-sides for Fnatic is still they're kind of struggling on them. We saw it a little bit in their game on Nuke against Astralis. The only thing that bailed them out there was some individual openings. Here on Train again, I thought their T-side opened very, very slow. And I mean, really for a long time, the only round they won on that T-side was that force buy that came out. It was just like a rush Ivy on an eco, and that got them close up to the upper. So they took away some of that space and some of that map that they were giving them outside, and eventually swarmed that over. But they just didn't have enough openings going for them. I mean, Gambit started winning all those opening battles towards the end of this game, and just too many rounds Fnatic is playing with the man disadvantage. I think even one of the gun rounds they opened up, it was Dennis with the 2 kills in ladder room, and it was a 5-on-3, and they lost that somehow. They were too passive after getting those 2 opening kills, and allowed all 3 members of Gambit to just gamble towards the outer bomb site and rotate over, and then they were all in position. And it's a little bit lucky, a little bit fortunate, obviously, but if you give them the time to make the right read and it comes in, like, there's always going to be that chance.
That's always the main worry, right? When you always you base your game off of defaults essentially. You get the entries, but then when it comes down to it, there was a lot of even deficit for them as well. 4-on-5s a lot of the times, even for Fnatic. Now, granted, they did end up winning a few of those and then resetting Gambit's economy, but that's definitely going to be that's been Fnatic's issue, I think, this whole year, because they still have the same tendency of just playing defaults and not necessarily going into the heavy executes. And with a team like Gambit, especially when they were not really giving them a lot of picks either, then you're going to be seeing a lot of rounds where that doesn't necessarily go their way.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard, and it shows a very definitive story as far as Gambit are concerned, because if there's one thing they've done well, Jason, over the last 3 games in the group stages, is they've all stepped up. There's never a bad game from anyone. They're all within a few frags of each other. And again, same thing here. 5 kill spread between them. Top 24, bottom 19. Yeah,
it's easy to make that happen, to say no one's having a bad game when you have a Dren with like 35 kills. That just makes everyone's job so easy from there. But this one, obviously, when it's this measured, that's phenomenal. That's definitely no weak links. Everyone has their impact round as well, and it just shows also good teamwork. It's not just like someone mowing down 3 players every single round. It's having a good setup to trade, peeking out when you're teammates in a fight. Fnatic side as well, that's pretty even, all things considered. Also, I just think JW had a stellar game.
Crims so many rounds.
Yeah, Crims was a linchpin outside, but JW's op is on point, and that'll, if that JW shows up on Inferno as well, I know, let's not get ahead of ourselves to the next map, but that's going to be a dangerous weapon. That's kind of the playstyle that we talked about. If he can be aggressive with the AWP the way he was on Train, he's so scary.
Having picked out one, we've picked out Mao as the MVP for this one. You could easily have gone with any of the other 4 as well for their various moments in the game. But he was one of the players that we haven't really spoken an awful lot. Dren's taken all the headlines because he's top rated. Zeus, the great in-game leader. Dozier, the rock that's been there forever. Hobbit stepped up into the top 10. We didn't speak about Mao at all during the pre-game.
No, I think it's because in terms of sheer impact, when he first joined this team, they needed an opper, and he was. I never really seen Mo as a strong opper, essentially, like not in the likes of Fallen and or Device. I just see he's just a plain opera. He doesn't necessarily do a whole lot. But one thing that he does do is very consistent in his opping. You're not going to see all the 4 kills, the very aggressive plays, but you are going to see kind of like not necessarily a turret essentially, but he's going to get you that 1 kill. He's going to get maybe even 2, right? And then it's his job done.
How did you feel that Fnatic coped with that map? Because it was a close game after all. They won't be too worried about the result in the end. They've got another map to try and come back into this, and it's their choice. So,
I thought it was all right. Just again, the T side was a little bit lacking until too late. I thought, and obviously the CT side was also a little bit weird because it felt like they had the one thing Gambit did really good in the first half when Fnatic was CT was they weren't winning a lot of those rounds when Rob was talking about like the very, very slow pace, but they were getting the kills. They were getting the kills, and they got a couple plants in there. So they were building up their own economy through losing and also making sure that Fnatic was being ground down. So when they finally do get that win, then they go on for 5 wins. They get the upper hand that way. But it didn't look like they were going to have a great plan themselves. I thought Fnatic came in all right. It's just the T side sometimes with this team aren't very convincing, and it is just like some of those. It is that like lame excuse where it's just like someone's going to have just an individual round that opens things up. Crims had a couple great entries on their T side, but you can't really rely on those to get you those rounds as the game goes on.
Do you feel like they read Gambit okay though?
I actually thought that Gambit did a much better job of reading Fnatic than the other way around. I think Gambit outplayed Fnatic in that sense.
Robin?
Yeah, I think so. So I think that the game plan, especially for Fnatic, is always going to be the same. It doesn't really matter on the map, right? It's just communication, try and push somewhere, get that entry, and fall back and just play the number advantage. But I feel like for Gambit's sake, in the beginning, like Jace was saying, now there were, the rounds that they ended up or did not end up winning, they were just super low, and then at later stages of that, like I said, just abusing the inner bomb side. So
I think Taz put it the best way when you talk about Fnatic, because he's just the guy that comes in and he says, well, if they're hitting their shots, they're probably going to win, and if they're not, then they're probably going to lose. It's just the way that goes at times with this team, and it's what made them so exciting, so dominant for so long. Because if that works, if that style works, it is hard to stop. It is very difficult to stop, and at the moment, it's just not as impressive as we'd like to see it.
Indeed. Right. why don't we check in with what an experience we have at the majors? Experience is everything, of course, so let's take a trip down the major experience road.